No, I was going to keep making fun of you, but your naive optimism is kind of nostalgic.
That's exactly right.
Especially considering most of us are all just over this shit.
Will you join me in the resistance?
What the hell? For old time's sake, sure. What do I have to do?
Literally nothing.
Right. Now I remember.
I'm gonna join the resistance. What do I need to do? Literally nothing. Oh yeah, I forgot. That's what we do. We try. We believe. We believe. We just believe. That's all we have to do. We just have to believe. Cashier, cashier. Wait, who's wait a second. That's weird. Interesting. Really weird. What is this? I need to yell about Democrats. And I need to yell about Joe Rogan. At some point, being a Nazi. Well, not a Nazi, but at least enjoying the Nazi talking points. This clip is crazy. When did I talk to that?
Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
What's up?
Okay, first question.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are you a Democrat?
Yeah, I don't really put that much into party labels, but I am a Democrat in America.
So, are you proud to be an American?
I think I care about people, and my care for people, that's an interesting question, actually. Because I don't think you need to be proud to be from somewhere. I think you should be proud. You should be proud of what your country stands for, proud of what you do. So I'm proud of the American Constitution. I'm proud of values of freedom and equality and a chance at a good life. But I'm not proud of America right now.
Why?
Because we're not living up to any of those promises.
So it's bad that we're thriving right now? We're starting to thrive. Actually, we're going to be thriving here in a couple years, but we can't thrive right now because Biden has put our country so below our limits that it's going to take years to recover from this, and Trump's just starting it.
Okay.
Yeah. So do you agree with me right there?
No.
Why?
I can't really disagree with a non-opinion. That's not really a real opinion. That's a fake opinion. That's just like you're a fanboy of a team and you like a team, and I can't really change your mind. Do you like football?
Facts.
Do you watch football?
It's facts. Sure.
What's your favorite football or baseball, maybe basketball? What are your favorite like sports teams?
Baseball. Red Sox.
Red Sox. Okay, if you're a Red Sox fan, then you're gonna like the Red Sox. I can't debate you out of being a Red Sox fan.
Yeah, but if they do stupid things, I'm gonna go after them for it, like making bad calls, putting wrong batters in.
What is something stupid Trump did? What's like a bad thing Trump did?
Let's look at something stupid Biden did, because that's really easy to do.
I asked you about Trump because he's currently president. What's one thing that Trump ever did that you disagree with?
But I asked you about Biden, and he was previously the president, and he put our country into a...
if you can't answer the question about Trump, I could just hang up.
Okay, go ahead. Ask me a question.
What is one thing Trump did that you don't like?
Probably he sports TikTok now. He used to not sport TikTok, but since they give him money, he's starting to like it more, and TikTok's helped them. Well, I think it's a good thing because TikTok, he helped them reach the young votes, but I also think it's a bad thing that he's tied in it up for the money because they give him a big a big donation, so he wants to keep them now. But I think that TikTok is they're spying on us, and it's a national security concern.
So if you think it's a national security concern, and he could be so easily persuaded by money to give Americans a national security concern, do you think he'd do that with anything else? Like take money to put Americans in danger?
No, he's fixing it right now. He's trying to find good owners. Him and Elon are doing good. I think they're going to be able to fix it, and I think TikTok will become better again.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think Trump's actually protecting us too, because he just shot one of the people who are terrorists, and I think that Biden didn't do anything for our national protection. He left our open borders, and they're rapist people coming into our country, hurting our country. They're breaking the law. Biden didn't even force the law, and it's hurting our country deeply. And Trump is securing it, and he's sending the criminals and people back to where they came from, and we're not dealing with it. And he's putting tariffs on different countries and making them repay because we have been ripped off billions of dollars.
Why is Trump deporting doctors?
They came into the country illegally. They can come in back.
No, there's doctors here. There's doctors here on permanent residence running medical facilities, and he's deporting them just because they were immigrants at one point.
What do you mean by permanent residence? What do you mean by permanent residence?
Some people that immigrate to America can have permanent residence without being a citizen. It's called a green card.
If you're not a citizen, then you're not legal.
If
you're not a citizen, then you didn't come in illegally, and you need to come back in. We're gonna have a big, nice.
You do know that people are in America before they're citizens, like legally, right? They're here legally before they become citizens, as residents.
Yeah, and they can
on visas and green cards.
Citizens, but no, we don't need any criminals in our country.
No, I'm talking about doctors and tattoo artists, and also like military vets.
So why can't the doctors just come in legally? Why can't they come in legally?
They are here legally. They are here legally. They are here legally.
Trump, he has not deported anybody who is illegal here. He has not.
Who's legal here? Yeah, he has. I could probably find 50 cases for you that just happened today.
All on MSNBC.
No, it's reported by like our Borders and Customs Enforcement.
It's not. It has. There's no way.
Yeah, it is. I think you need to think about, so as you develop as a person, when I present information to you, you should consider it just a little bit, because your opinion can be wrong, and I'm saying that he's deporting people that are here legally.
It can be wrong. I'm not the biggest Trump lover. I think he has some bad things that can
I don't care about I don't care about if you like Trump or not. There's like basic facts we need to agree on certain things, and that's really a really big deal. It's like one big thing that's happening right now.
Can we agree on that we just want to make America better again and safer again for our citizens?
We don't agree. No, we can't really agree. You cannot agree on something like that.
You don't want to make America safe again?
So like if you say make America safe again, if you think making America getting immigrants out of the country is safer, then no.
Don't look at it like Republican, Democrat. Just look at it.
Yes, I want America to be dangerous. Yes, that's what I want. I want America to be the most dangerous place on the planet. Hell yeah.
You're a Democrat right now. That's what we want to do.
And also when you engage with adults, if you say something like, do you want America to be like safe? It's like, of course you want America to be safe. You're saying that to try and get an own in the conversation, but I'm an honest person. I want to talk to you about facts. You're trying to do. Like one big thing that's happening right now. A gotcha is like you got me in a you said a question that I have no way to respond to. You're gonna say, oh, I got you. You had to agree to this. So something happening recently with Elon Musk and Social Security. Multiple people who are very alive, who are supposed to be getting Social Security, are now pronounced as dead.
Somebody.
Hey, you have to listen. Hey, if you want to be talk to you like an adult, you have to act like an adult. Let me finish my sentence, okay? Okay, so these people are alive, okay? And Elon Musk has been saying there's a bunch of dead people on Social Security. There are thousands of people right now who are alive being denied Social Security checks because Doge is identifying them as dead. So all this waste, fraud, and abuse.
Oh crap! Never mind. Sorry, that's just what Biden said.
Okay, that kid's now not allowed on the channel. I gave him a chance. I'll talk to adults. Good job, buddy. Alright. Please drop a like on the stream. I gave him a chance. I'm also blocking him from YouTube chat because he's annoying and he comments on every one of my videos saying please take calls. Alright. They don't care. It just, I don't know. This is why college is a big deal, dude. You're not gonna learn this in K through 12. Why am I not getting good streaming? Wait, am I on Wi-Fi right now?
Yeah.
Wait, am I on Wi-Fi? Nope. Okay, I am on Wi-Fi. I have to plug in my Ethernet cable, or I'll be right back. By right back, I mean I have to go down here. Oh, okay, let me know when you could hear me. Nothing matters, bro. Nothing matters. Nothing matters. Okay. Yeah, but you can call the phone lines if you want to call in a few seconds. I want to do this Joe Rogan clip really quick. Really quick. Okay. I can't do all of this, bro. This is a lot of stuff. A lot. This is a lot. Okay, so
A thing.
So in America right now, Hitler is becoming very popular. Candace Owens was on Stephen A. Smith and a bunch of other shows. A bunch of Holocaust fucking, I don't even care. What are Chinese demographics like? Let's see. As far as like racial makeup, 91% of population, 8% was minority populations. It's Han Chinese. Okay. God bless. Okay. Comments are wild. Make sure you drop a like on the stream. Well, yeah, generation of kids is watching Joe Rogan for their facts, so. In America right now, Hitler is becoming very popular. Candace Owens has gone on Stephen A. Smith and a bunch of other platforms, and Stephen A. Smith said she's super smart. She does Holocaust denial. And Joe Rogan recently had 2 Holocaust deniers on his show. And now Joe Rogan's talking about when China wants to stay Chinese, no one has a problem with that. But when Poland wants to remain white, suddenly it's a problem. Joe Rogan's been doing a lot of noticing lately. This guy right here is a devout neo-Nazi, unironically, a very devout neo-Nazi. You can go and look at his tweets. He is a neo-Nazi 100%. Also a very big Donald Trump, JD Vance fan, and Elon Musk fan, of course. I'm pretty sure Elon Musk boosts this account as well. But Joe Rogan, like I said, he's had Holocaust deniers on his show. And one big point that these Holocaust deniers are making is like, for example, Hitler wasn't really a bad guy. Hitler was just a guy who loved Germany a lot. He loved Germany too much, and he wanted his people, he wanted a more pure Germany. And Joe Rogan will believe any propaganda that people tell him because he wants to be friends with everyone. He wants to be accepted. He's a really weak individual. And now Joe Rogan is broadcasting to his millions and millions and millions of viewers, many of them white, many of them kids, many of them young, many of them young and kids, believe it or not. But yeah, many people who are white, working class, especially, and men, just men, okay? Men, boys, men, whatever. I was all over the place right there. I am annoyed with the news recently. I don't like that Hitler is becoming revitalized in American society, okay? And Joe Rogan says, I'm a comedian, bro. I'm a comedian. I do a podcast. Don't take me seriously. No one should listen to my opinions. But yeah, this is a big thing here, a huge thing.
A thing when an all-white country wants to stay all-white, where people get very nervous of. If you have, you know, let's say China. Like, China is Chinese people. We all agree that it's like it's filled primarily with Chinese people. Yeah. There's people that live there from all walks of life, all over the world, but it's mostly Chinese people. If China had decided that they wanted to remain Chinese and stay Chinese, and that being Chinese is very important to what China is, no one would have a problem with that.
Yeah.
When a country like Poland does it, you're like, oh, those white people, they want to keep everybody out.
There is a distinct problem with China. We don't like China for a reason. China is an authoritarian supremacist government. We don't like China. It's not good when they do it. It's not good when we do it. It's not good when Poland does it. It's not good to ask for racial or cultural, railing against multiculturalism, being against equality. Those are things that are bad. Authoritarian countries believe in those principles. North Korea, Russia, China, Nazi Germany. Poland's pretty authoritarian. Hungary is pretty authoritarian. All these countries that talk about a united culture or about your ethnic group or whatever it might be. These are not good things. We know these are not good things. No one says it's okay when China does it. It's not good when China does it. It's not good when China has death camps for certain minority groups. That is not a good thing. But Joe Rogan here, talking to Holocaust deniers, his deep-roasted dumbass brain, he is now talking about, oh, well, both should be okay. Instead of saying, both are bad, both are really bad, both are bad, he's saying, well, I mean, if it's okay for China to do it, why is it not okay for Poland to do it?
They want it to be all white.
Yeah, and
because we're, that's post-World War II. That's post-Aryan race talk. That's post-Nazi stuff. That's what people are legitimately freaked out about. That's the most recent stain in our history where we look back and say, wow, that was close. Evil almost won that one.
I think
it's crazy, too, because he's talking to someone who is a fan of Nazi Germany, and Joe Rogan does not realize he's contradicting himself in this entire podcast. But he's slowly moving along to the position of believing the great conspiracy theories. And by great, I mean the grand conspiracy theories, the great replacement type of theories. He's slow walking his way in that direction, very, very slowly or quickly. I don't even know. I don't know. He'll believe whatever he's told to believe by his billionaire friends. Joe Rogan is bought out by Spotify and bought out by UFC and bought out by Dana White and bought out by Elon Musk and bought out by all these dumbasses. And it's scary seeing these ideologies put on such a big pedestal. And now the youth in America have the most positive view of authoritarianism and Adolf Hitler in generations. There is data we have globally. Globally, younger people are becoming more pro-authoritarian, more pro-dictator. Young people, when you look at age groups, the further we get away from World War II, the more and more young people are becoming pro-dictator and pro-ethno-state, for example. So yeah, not a good trend. We don't like this at all. We don't like this at all, bro. Oh, God. God forbid we do not want another Holocaust. I gotta yell about Democrats, dude. Democrats making me upset. Not really. This right here, too. Okay. I'm gonna get mad at Dems, at the Democrats, for a YouTube video. And if people want to call in, you can call the number, drop a like on the stream. Thanks for joining me. Hope you're doing well. Okay. This shit right here. I don't even know what words to use for this stuff anymore, because you try to have an impact with what you're saying, but it's really just so... It's so, I don't know. So defeating. Cancel young people. Canada is more of a democracy than we are, but yeah, they were able to transcend some of our system's issues. So a lot of European countries were able to learn from the U.S. and then do things better after World War II, which is why they have better functioning systems on a pretty large scale. Okay. Much more educated, much more everything. Crap. Oh, man. someone said in the comments, "Oh, Trump has fun and leisure time. Get over it." So right now, I need people to understand that in America, Donald Trump supporters, anything they say means nothing. There is no principle. There is no value behind it until they prove that they do care about anything in the future. Okay? Donald Trump, I just won the golf club championship today at Trump International Golf Club. Donald Trump has golfed more in his first 2 months than any president in American history, by the way. All right? If Joe Biden or anyone else did that, Trump supporters would be pooping in the streets in protest. All right? I don't even know what that really means. But yeah, they'd be really, really upset about that. Everything they talk about, whether it's corruption, whether it's political persecution or whatever it might be, they don't really care about these things. They just want their side to be on top. They want their side to win. So Trump is here golfing, saying he won a golf club championship. Very Kim Jong-un, very North Korea-esque. You know, our God King was able to win this amazing tournament. Kim Jong-un has never golfed and not gotten all hole-in-ones, okay? Now, at the same time, when Trump was at this event playing golf, we had a huge natural emergency. All right, go through Oklahoma, Kansas, Texas, a few other states. At least 26 dead in massive storm after Kansas reports 8 fatalities. Now, if you remember, Joe Biden, after North Carolina hurricanes, after Georgia, Florida, after the California wildfires, everything, okay? Joe Biden, after every single issue, Republican state, Democratic state, was there right away, approved maximum funding. But Trump came out and said that Democrats and Joe Biden are not doing their job. They are not helping the people in these states. Because Trump will propagandize. Trump will make a narrative about these things. But Trump does not care about these things. He knows he wants to give ammunition to his supporters to use against his political opponents. Because Trump, as he's golfing in his beautiful resort, there's Americans dying who need leadership. At the same time, Donald Trump is defunding our national weather services, which if you get any weather anywhere, it comes from our National Weather Service. And we're going to risk having worse predictions in the future if we keep defunding it and firing people. So at the same time, Trump is golfing during this storm. Americans are dying. Americans need leadership. Trump is also defunding our mechanism to track weather. Okay? Now, for Democrats, I don't want to hear your Hamilton over-practiced Broadway-ass speech about decorum or about the rule of law. Law is done in America. Donald Trump does not care about law. Donald Trump does not care about the Constitution. You need to go on TV and get people to view you as more popular, more trustworthy. You need to wield influence. You need to care about influencing people about the world. All right? Going on TV and giving your legal take is not going to matter. You need to go on TV during events like this and say Donald Trump is golfing while at the same time Americans are suffering. If you are a Democrat, whenever something like this happens, go on TV. Go on TV. Make them show the Truth Social and ask, why is Donald Trump golfing every single day? Why is this dude golfing every single day while Americans are dying? That needs to be the way we go with this. Who is that girl caller? Oh, I blocked the one kid. You let your feeling run you. The last time I was in your chat, you screamed at one of my comments like a woman on the rag. Hackett Garage. I hope you have a beautiful day, sir. I hope you know that Jesus Christ would disapprove of your actions. But I hope that you ask for forgiveness someday when you realize that. Hey, call into the show. Drop a like on the stream. Hit subscribe. Oh my god, dude. I love everything. Here's the story about someone waking up and discovering they are dead. Johnson told Seattle Times, "It's been truly surreal. That's the biggest difference. My deceased guy turns out to be very much alive." Musk is contending that hordes of dead people are listed as alive in the Social Security databases and are fraudulently still drawing benefits. All right, which the Social Security director disputes. Johnson is 82 and still kicking, yet sometime last month, someone or something led Social Security to both tag him as dead and start clawing back his benefits. When Elon Musk says there's waste, fraud, and abuse, They give zero proof because they don't have any proof of anything. They are trying to make you hate government programs. They want to convince you to kill government programs so they can privatize said government programs. The stuff Elon Musk says about these programs, the waste, fraud, and abuse, for anyone at all who's informed about this in any way, you know it's complete bullshit. The way he presents it, the way he talks about it, the systems we have in place, Social Security's rate of failure or fraud is much, much, much lower than any private insurance company or a program. Social Security is very successful. And when they say there's dead people on it, what they're going to do is they're going to claw back benefits. When they claw back benefits, I guarantee you, they're using their AI. They are going to hyper-focus these different initiatives in blue states, in blue areas that vote Democrat. Okay? They are not going to take benefits away from people that vote in red areas as much as possible, as much as they can possibly control. They want to do a slow burn. So first off, hurt workers, try to hyper-focus it in blue areas that will not swing ever, because they're going to vote Democratic no matter what, and make sure you maintain some semblance of normalcy in your districts, the Republican red districts and swing districts. They want to try and segregate our society and make us diverge from each other, liberals and conservatives. And Elon Musk today posted about if you want peace, you need to do violence. They will be asking for some type of violence eventually. They will be asking for some type of societal collapse and division and some type of battle in society because they want to divide and conquer the American people. They want to lie about everything. They want us divided. They want us fighting each other so they can profit from the ashes, so they can profit from the rubble of when the American people collide over probably a dumb social issue, or I don't know. They want tension rising in every way possible. Nice. Make sure you drop a like on the stream. No one calls my stream anymore, dude. No one likes calling my stream anymore. It's really upsetting. Like, why does no one call? Why does no one call? No one ever calls me. Be my friend, please. Please be my friend. Okay. So I don't know if I have a screenshot of this. Let me see. Okay, so here we go. Okay. The propaganda president. The propaganda president. Where is the video at again? Oh, someone called. Here, call back. Call back. We need to talk about how Trump is deporting completely legitimate asylum seekers and putting them into areas where they're going to be beaten and killed and raped because Trump hates people and hates America and hates humanity and I don't care. I really don't care anymore. Like, you need to, if you're watching this channel and you're going to be a kid and laugh at stuff, and I mean, that's cool. But here, number that just called me, you can call back. You cannot carry Christ, Jesus Christ, and God and pretend to care. Okay, you don't care about any of that thing, any of that stuff. You care about your way of following something. You care about your way of profiting from it. You care about your way of using it to control people. But you show zero understanding or care for how you treat other people or how other people are being treated. Even if it benefits our America to help other people, you still are in favor. Nice. Huh. Who's this guy in the government? Philosopher King. El Salvador government. Nice. Is that the propaganda video America made? I'm pretty sure that's the propaganda video that America made. Too. El Salvador. How's it going, guys? How's it going? Chill. I don't want to upgrade the premium. What the hell is on X, dude? Like, oh my god, dude. Where's the video? Where's the propaganda video at, dude? I just saw the propaganda video for the El Salvador freaking illegal deportations. It's not even illegal deportations. It's like deportations is too nice of a word for what's happening. They're damning them to literal torture and death, probably, and rape.
Call from
John.
to accept.
Howdy. Howdy,
Hello?
what's up? How's it going?
Hey, what's up?
Nothing much. How about you?
Nothing much. I was just flipping through and I seen your show.
Yeah, what do you want to chat about?
Yeah, so I don't know, man. You know, I live in California and it's like it's pretty bad over here, dude. Like you know, there's like a lot of illegal immigrants coming through and like the prices are extremely high over here and our roads are really shitty and I'm still waiting for this bullet train to be built. And I don't know,
Now,
man.
when you say these things are
Ever
bad,
since
are you saying they're
COVID-
bad from an actual perspective or from a pampered American perspective where you want utopia?
No, man. You know, was it 10 years ago?
So standard of living in
Like
California is
15
pretty
years
good, and I'm
ago?
sick of people complaining about living standards that are pretty high. You know, pretty high even for really good countries.
No, man.
I mean, California
you got
has
these
one of the highest
places
life
like
expectancies in the
Oakland.
world. It has one of the best averages for social mobility. California, in general, has one,
I mean,
some
if
of
you
the
don't
best
get
outcomes
shot,
in the
you
world.
know, like living in Oakland or, you know, there's a lot of bad things, man, that you.
There's bad things everywhere, though, but you're talking like a kid that just went outside for the first time. I want to know, like, are you talking about things are bad in comparison to the rest of the world, in comparison to reality, or are you just, like, wanting a utopia? You just want to complain about
No,
things.
it's,
Like, what are some policy fixes you want, with issues you're seeing that affect your life?
Well, how do I say, like, a lot of gangs be coming through here from South America, man, that, like, I work at an apartment complex, and it did get taken over by a lot of, like, South American gangsters, dude. Like, now there's, like,
Oh yeah,
tags
your apartment
everywhere.
complex got taken over by which gangs took over your apartment complex?
Oh, no, some South American gangs,
Oh yeah, no,
man.
it's
Like,
your
these
apartment
people,
complex though.
man,
Tell me
they got,
about
like,
no. Tell me about your gangs. What gangs took over your apartment complex, and why did you give them a lease to your apartment complex? You're totally real apartment complex,
I
asshole.
don't.
Yeah, you're
I
totally
don't,
real
I
apartment
don't,
complex.
I don't give them
Oh,
leases.
okay. So
No,
who put them there? It's your apartment complex. Who put them there?
it's the people that do the leasing, man.
Oh, you're
you
making
know?
shit up. Oh, you're making
I
all
don't
this shit,
know.
dude. You sound so unconvincing, bro. Do you care that you're a liar? Do you care about that shit at all? Do you care that you're lying for like a political agenda?
I'm not
or
a
because you just
liar.
don't like people? Yeah, dude, you have no answers about anything. You would know if there's a gang in
No,
your
it's true.
apartment
I
complex,
mean,
and you would
I'm
know what gang it
Mexican, dude,
is.
like-
You would know what gang. I don't care. You would know what gang it is. If there's a
No,
gang
there's like
taking over
South
your apartment
America, like
complex.
Colombian, Venezuelan gangs.
Oh yeah, okay. Name all the scary countries. Can you name one gang from any country that was in your
I just
apartment
know that they
complex?
practice
What's the name?
Santa Muerte.
Can you
I
name
would- I
one?
would-
Okay,
I would
about your
call it
personal
Santa
experience.
Muerte.
You said you're a very real owner of an apartment complex. Tell me more about it. How many units do you have?
I didn't say I own an apartment complex.
How many
I
units
said
do
I
you have?
work at one.
Oh, you work at one now. Okay.
It's about 440 something. 447, I believe.
Nice. Well, it must be going pretty good if you survived.
I mean, yeah, you know, trying.
Yeah,
It's
just trying, bro.
expensive over here, bro.
Yeah, no, I thought you said about getting shot. Like, there's gangs there. You must have got held up at gunpoint or something, right?
No, my coworker got fucking murdered at freaking Safeway, dude, when I used to work there.
Bro. This country is cooked. This country is cooked, bro. This country is cooked. Oh my god, dude. Wait, let me see something real quick. I need to see something. I need to see something. I need to see something really quick about that person. 1 second. 1 second, bro. Let me see. Need to see. 1 second. Let me mute this real quick. 1 second. Nice. Ban Safeway. I just don't know how I don't know how I can get through to people who are just thinking completely emotionally. God. But you have to remember too, when you try to win an election, you don't win off people like that. You don't win off people that are just going to be thinking like dumbasses. You win off that percentage in the middle that's like that can come out for you. Like you don't even necessarily need that kind of voter. But it's just like you want to live in a utopia, I guess. I don't know, dude. If you're a working class person, I don't know why you'd want. I don't know. Howdy, what's up?
Is this the debate stream?
Yeah, dude, what's up, man?
How's it going?
It's going all right. How about yourself?
Oh, I can't complain. First time calling into one of these things, so I'm kind of unsure. Is there a current topic right now?
Well, right now Trump is deporting people illegally, and defying court orders, and he's deporting some people who have a legal residency, without any due process. So that's a big topic right now. But there's a bunch of stuff going on. We're now bombing Yemen very heavily, I'm pretty sure. Spending a lot of taxpayer dollars there, bombing Yemen, killing children there. We just did that, I think, yesterday. There's a bunch of stuff going on though. Whatever comes to your mind.
I guess the Yemen thing would probably be, or we can go. You want to start wherever you want to start with. I can go on either.
Well, I'm not going to discuss the Yemen that deep. I just think it's hilarious that they made a big thing about not supporting Ukraine, but they could send emergency funding to Israel every single day, and also we could spend money bombing Yemen now. So it's just really interesting where we're allowed to spend money and not, and where they support spending money.
I think the Ukraine thing is a little bit more different. Yemen, it's more due to free trade, kind of. I think the Yemenis, their leader said that they're going to block, the U.S. from coming through, as well as the Houthis are interfering with free trade, or ships going through, which is an interference with free trade.
So we can help bomb people directly to support free trade, but we cannot help an ally that denuclearized for us in military aid, just through aid. So we can nuke for free trade, or we can bomb people for free trade, but we cannot provide aid for a country being invaded, I guess.
Well, I think it's a little bit different with Ukraine. I don't know how close you follow it, but it's basically at a standstill right now. I think the ground that the Ukrainians have taken in Russia there's currently a push through of Russian troops where they're losing the ground that they had. I can't remember the region it is, but the part of Russia that they had taken control over, they're losing that ground, and it seems everything's at a stalemate now. So it would probably be, and seeing as it's been at a stalemate for a long period of time, it would make more sense that we would kind of come to a peaceful negotiation, seeing as there's no major changes on the battlefield, and seeing as the last couple of counteroffensive by the Ukrainians really hasn't done much.
Ukraine's been very successful by all metrics, taking back territory that's been taken. I think they recovered like 70% of the territory that was originally taken. So they've been very successful there. And just in general, when it comes to Ukraine, do you know why Zelensky does not just want like a ceasefire without security guarantees?
Yes, because more than likely Putin would regather his forces and attempt this type of thing again.
Yeah, I'd say it's a guarantee for that.
Yeah, obviously it's guaranteed. I mean, I don't think Putin's going to stop until he takes back Ukraine, but I think what needs to happen is Europe needs to step up on this.
Europe has helped Ukraine far more than the U.S. has in total aid and total weapons.
Yeah, that's true, but I think the issue is that the U.S. needs to focus its military elsewhere. We have more than likely
we're not
within
focusing.
this
We're not focusing military in Ukraine. They just needed aid. All they asked for was ammunition. We had nothing militarily there when it comes to military focus that would have strained any resources anywhere. We have an abundance of resources, and we were giving barely anything to Ukraine. I mean, I know people complain about the amount of funding, but in terms of GDP percentage for what we gave to Ukraine, it's 7. We're ranked 17th in terms of percentage of GDP that we donate or not donate. I guess that we awarded to Ukraine, and most of our money, or most of our aid was spent in America. So it's not like it's a huge draw from our resources. It's not taking from any programs in America. It's not taking from anything abroad for our military. I just don't like the things you're saying just don't match up to like the intel that's available.
I guess I'm being a little too vague. What I'm trying to say is that Europe is not really Europe is not as militarized as it needs to be to fend off Russia. I mean, the Eastern European countries, you can say like the Baltic countries, Poland, Hungary, yeah, they've remilitarized to an extent that they could hold off the Russians for quite a bit of time. Germany, France, not even going to put in Italy because Italy's a joke when it comes to any military campaign, or Britain, or where its navy is basically a pathetic shell of what it used to be. But the U.S. has far more, it has, two things it has to look at. Russia is a problem, but also is China. And within this decade, it's believed that China will attempt to invade Taiwan. So the focus should be, what I believe Trump is trying to do is, and I don't know if he's doing this, but I have a good guess that he might be doing this. He's trying to refocus the eyes of the U.S. onto off Europe and into Asia.
I would question when it comes to China. Trump is giving China a huge win. China is benefiting greatly. Their stock market and their economy has seen a huge increase since Trump took office as a result largely of the trade wars and tariffs. When Trump tariffs our allies and countries around the world, new trade routes open where they try to avoid the U.S. because the U.S. is no longer a trusted partner. Similarly to how the U.S. is gonna lose allies if we don't support Ukraine, which we have a deal with the Budapest Memorandum if we don't provide aid to Ukraine after denuclearizing them. But a lot of these countries, and we left the WHO and a bunch of other organizations. China's getting influence in all these areas. China's getting new trade routes and new trade deals with these countries that we are causing huge issues with. So China's greatly benefiting from our recklessness and us losing allies. So I think Trump has been very pro Russia and China. Both Russia and China's performance as far as their economic growth, they both were suffering greatly, having recessions, and Russia's economy was about to fall apart. But Trump getting into office is what saved Russia, and also it's giving China a huge surge right now, according to the Hong Kong markets. So the idea that we're anti-China in what we're doing, I'm pretty sure it'd be more pro-China to leave Ukraine, because I mean Russia and China are huge allies, not in the sense that they don't like each other, but they are friends because they share us as an enemy. They share the U.S. as an enemy. So China, North Korea, Russia, they all hate the U.S. and they're all working together. The only place China and Russia works together is with the aim of toppling the U.S. as the global power. So with all that being known, it seems like Trump's putting us in a really bad position, moving into I don't know, a third World War period, which is going to be a lot of cyber warfare, a lot of information warfare. But it just seems like we're not in a good position based off these policies.
I would agree with the tariffs. That does definitely create a huge. It creates animosity between our allies. Obviously, it causes the U.S. to be seen as less reliable. But my ultimate thing is, let me kind of collect my thoughts here. With Ukraine, we ultimately have to look at the. I believe I think that Ukraine is not going to get back as much territory as they want. I think Zelensky has said that he wants the Crimea and the Donbass back, or somebody. It might have been. I believe he stated that before. That's not going to happen. If you ask any, if you've done foreign policy or not done, sorry, had a few. If you listen to foreign policy, people who do foreign policy analysis, it's impossible for the Ukrainians, even if the U.S. turned on the faucet of basically sending 10 times more military aid, financial aid, 10 times more weapons. There is no way the Ukrainians are going to push the Russians out of Crimea, out of Donbass. It's just not humanly possible. I mean, they've made gains to push the Russians back a little bit compared to what they had lost during the beginning of the war. But it's probably the best time right now is to get to the table, make some kind of concessions. NATO membership would probably be a great thing. Trump isn't going to do that. My opinion, what Trump should do is say, give back the regions you've taken, or we're going to allow Ukraine into NATO, but he's not going to do that. And that would allow us to refocus on China. The tariffs, Trump's economic policies, I believe, have strengthened China's economy, but honestly, you can't really trust the Chinese with their economic analysis that they release to the world, because they make a goal every 5 years and somehow make it able to accomplish it every single time, which is unheard of in economics. And with the WHO, I would have to respond that the WHO has already been largely influenced by China. So while it's not a good idea to leave it completely, it's basically ceding the ground to China. And there's an argument to be made that they somewhat basically have large grounds or have a large hold over the WHO. Seeing what happened with COVID, as they didn't quite want to say that it came from Wuhan or it came from a virus leak, which more than likely it did. But,
why more than likely? There's even right now the CIA and everything, all the intelligence agencies say low confidence. Like more than likely, that's not a real statement. It's likely to be from it's equal likelihood to be from a bunch of different sources, including the wet market. The idea that it's likely that it came from a lab has not been reported from scientific community.
You think it's purely coincidental that it came from a lab in Wuhan that was studying COVID-type viruses?
That's not how we do science. We don't do science based off. Well, do you think it's a coincidence? No, we do science based off of actually looking at the origin of the virus. And usually, the other COVID viruses came from animals. So wet markets do make more sense. And China's a huge country with a lot of transactions happening in wet markets, probably more than anywhere else in the world, I'm guessing, because of how many people they have. So the idea that it came from a wet market is probably more likely than a lab leak. Probably a lot more likely. The lab leak is still extremely unlikely. The idea that it's even a likely scenario at all is just some internet conspiracy bullshit. And I hate it. We could look at all of the. I think people were wrong to dismiss it completely. By the way, I agree they were wrong to dismiss it completely. But the idea that it's high likelihood, I'm just yeah, it's more likely to come from an animal still, according to every research we've seen so far.
I mean, not to discount the researchers. I mean, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist here, but to me, most of the data would probably be coming from the Chinese government or scientists that are being observed by the Chinese government, I imagine. And as we understood with what happened, going back decades with Chernobyl and what happened at the nuclear power plant there, the Soviets weren't well known in giving the full story of what happened and how their reactor was using outdated, or what is that? What's the word I'm looking for? Faulty technology. They blamed it on possible sabotage, possible it was a human error and stuff like that. So with these authoritarian countries, you really can't trust what the information you're giving you, and more than likely they don't want the idea that they were incompetent, because there are many labs in that country in China, sorry, not that country, that do different types of that do similar types of research and viruses and stuff like that. So
but it's not the reporting from the country that matters. It's the reporting that we look at, and we could say, for example, the genetic makeup shows no example of any type of editing. So American scientists, European scientists from around the world can conclude that there is no evidence in the sequencing of the virus that there was genetic engineering on it. And none of us are medical experts, but I'm just saying the claim that it's extremely likely it came from a lab is just internet conspiracy bullshit. It is. It's far more likely to be from animals than anything else. And we could look at research before COVID actually happened. It's possible. It is possible, but I just hate the internet acting like we know things that we don't know. And if they come out someday and and this is one big reason I think the U.S. should not leave the WHO, by the way, because if China can dominate the entire WHO and get more influence there, I agree they're an authoritarian country. I agree with that. Which is why America needs to be the free country that supports the world and makes these programs better for the entire world, because global stability matters. But Trump voters have this idea in their brains that isolationism is a good concept. The isolationism is going to help our country prosper. The only countries that push isolationism as a main tactic are countries like China, Russia, and North Korea, rejecting outside influences, rejecting free trade. I know China has some parts that are pro-free trade, but that's only because of state command, and most of the country is in communism and authoritarianism. But the American idea right now that people have, that we can just be isolationist and not participate in the global stage, and we have two oceans to protect us, that was not true 300 years ago, let alone with current technology. And if the U.S. right now backs out, which we are going to do, if we back out of all these global organizations and all these trade deals, China will be dominant globally. China will be the new ruling empire when it comes to the entire globe. And the U.S. being a free country, being super powerful, believing that, like Trump is helping Russia and China and authoritarian countries all around the world. And that's why Trump talks so greatly about authoritarians. He loves authoritarians. He hates liberal democracies. He shows anger and vitriol towards democracies. He loves authoritarian dictators, though.
I don't disagree with the whole fact of isolationism. I think it's moronic. I do think but I think it's a response to the Iraq and Afghanistan wars that largely were not necessary.
Tariffing Canada and the EU is not from the Iraq war or Afghanistan. It's just.
No, I'm talking about the isolationist feeling.
But that's isolationism as well. The trade wars are part of the isolationism. But if you mean militarily, then. But they don't care about that either, because they're still giving money to Israel and bombing Yemen and bombing a bunch of and bombing Somalia. So.
Well, I think the Israel thing is more to do with it's actually anti-isolationism. We want to keep that bastion of liberal democracy that exists, liberal democracy that exists in the Middle East for basically our own, what's the word I'm looking for? Our benefit. I guess that's the word I should use. Israel is basically the only liberal democracy in the Middle East. All others are either shams or they're basically authoritarian governments. I don't
argue that's why we support South Korea and Israel. You could also argue that's one reason we should support Ukraine, especially since we were in a treaty with them. I think we should support democratic countries everywhere. I don't think we should remove humanitarian concerns for Israel. Trump has removed any limitation we had at all for Israel in Gaza and with Palestinians. Like I said, I think if you support South Korea or Israel or other countries that we have as allies, and we don't support Ukraine, I just think we're being selective, and it's not really isolationism. It just seems like, I don't know. I just don't know how you can look at America and America's history and think what Trump is doing is going to improve the country at all. So I don't know if you have any insight into that. There's just nothing. Everything he's done. First term, I could talk about the First Step Act. I could talk about USMCA being fine. I could talk about a bunch of that kind of stuff. But in his second term, I think he's been just destroying the American Constitution, destroying American freedom, destroying everything that this country is supposed to stand for. And his supporters like it because they're not the people that are being attacked by it. But I just think, I don't know.
Well, I can understand the nihilism coming from. I used to be a progressive, so I can understand that perspective of looking at things and seeing that he's basically taking a wrecking ball to the established order. So people like that because they believe they're being screwed. His supporters like that because they believe they're being screwed over by the established order.
Yeah, but he's removing the established order. That's good. He's removing the good parts. He's keeping the bad parts.
In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. I would look at the immigration problems, and I don't. I like the fact that how can I say this? It to a first world nation, the way he's supporting people and stuff like that, it doesn't look nice. But if you compare it to El Salvador, they had to do extrajudicial things to clean up that country. There's no way of.
We're not El Salvador. We do not need that in America. There's no place in America that there's a huge surge in a crime rate that we need a national emergency or the Alien Enemies Act. There's nowhere in America that justifies that at all.
No, I understand that, but it's not as bad as El Salvador. We're not throwing random people in jail and then holding them. For
Yeah,
a
we
year
are.
and
We
then-
just deported random people saying they're part of Trend. What is it called again? Trende Agua or whatever.
Trinidad de, I think it's Trinidad de Agua.
Yeah.
I believe.
So there's people that are like Venezuelan that came here seeking asylum. Like, for example, one tattoo artist who is gay. They detained this tattoo artist. He had a court date tomorrow. They accused him of his tattoos being gang affiliated, which they're not at all. But Trump just deported this person to El Salvadorian prison where he's going to be like brutally tortured probably. And this is a person who sought asylum in America and completely reasonable claims. He was going to be killed for being, gay and against the government in Venezuela. Came here for asylum. He's here. It's a completely legit claim. He had a court date tomorrow, and Trump deported this person. Now this person's going to be in El Salvador prison. I think like doing that alone is one of the most unholy things we could support in America. And I know people, not everyone cares about religion, but I know they claim to be Christians. They are not. Nothing about this is Christian. Nothing about this is moral. Nothing about this is human at all. They're rounding people up and deporting them just so they can wave it up like a big flag, like we did it. We got them out of we got them out of here. Like what all the supporters are saying. It's just like it's insane. They're deporting doctors. They're deporting a bunch of people who should be here. Like it's oh god.
I can understand your perspective, but I look at it this way. You could agree that that a lot of people who were deported were probably not good people. They were probably criminals. There were probably some really, really bad
This
people,
guy had a
correct?
court date tomorrow, and they also defied a federal judge order to not do the deportations. I don't care. I don't care. There's due process for a reason. We need to maintain due process. We should not do extrajudicial anything in America. There's no grounds for wartime efforts right now in America. There's no reason for it.
I can understand that perspective. But, okay, look at it from the perspective of somebody who has, that girl that was murdered in Athens, Georgia, by the guy who was supposed to have been deported, but the city of Athens refused to allow him to be deported. This guy was a rapist that nearly murdered, I believe, one of his victims. I think he was from Honduras, I believe. No, yeah.
Murder is bad. Murder is bad, but we should not kill legally. Or we should not illegally kill or deport people because someone murdered someone. If we have that standard, then we're going to have a world of just like complete chaos and violence, and we're going to be killing just like random people. And if that's the case, we should be discriminating or taking rights away from people that do murder. We should be taking rights away from men because men do like 90% of murders or whatever, or violent crimes.
What I'm trying to say is that guy had an order to be deported. The state of Georgia had ordered him to be deported because he was a rapist. He had attempted to murder somebody in his home country. He was here illegally. The state had said, we're going to deport this guy. This guy went to a sanctuary city in Athens, Georgia. The city refused to allow immigration services to come take him away. Now, in those circumstances, if ICE was to go into the city of Athens, Georgia, which is the sanctuary city, and take that guy, rip him away from his apartment or his house or wherever he lived, and deport him, they would be doing so extrajudicially. Extrajudiciary. They would be basically overruling the rule of the city in its laws. Now we say that state laws supersede city ordinances and its decisions. Correct? We can agree with that.
1 second.
I don't know if I make.
So one of the big issues here is that there was no reason to suspect this person for a violent crime. They had no violent offenses before this happened. So if these were people who were not like immigrants, for example, or undocumented or illegal immigrants, whatever, if this was an American citizen and they shoplifted, they would have been through the same process. Where they would have been released and they could have done something bad after that. I mean, people do very bad things. And, when there's no reason to think this person's going to be violent in the future, I just care about all violent crime. I don't just focus on immigration because immigrants have the lowest crime rate of any group of people in America in general. People, when you bring up stories like that and it's not an issue with it's an issue of due process. If you want to say there's local policies you would have changed, that's fine. But right now, violating the Constitution, violating federal judge's orders, someone had a court date tomorrow. There's innocent people being swept up because they're skin tone or because they have tattoos without any due process. Those human violations, those constitutional violations, in my opinion, and I think our founding fathers would definitely agree, those violations are not worth it at all, and we're going to an area of full authoritarianism, or really bad authoritarian tendencies, at least. And when Trump's White House says he makes all policy, he makes all law, that is very scary for people who care about checks and balances and care about being anti-king, like our founding fathers were. And when people bring up apartment complexes or the 3 national stories about immigrants doing crime, I could bring up crime of any group. I could bring up crimes from Trump's own cabinet, where there's child predators who, one just got arrested actually a week ago for going after a 12-year-old girl. And I could bring up those groups to, if I really want to, but when you do that, you're doing it to like represent like, oh, some immigrants did bad things, so therefore we should be afraid of all immigration, when, I don't like dehumanizing people based off 1 or 2 crimes, or based off just like saying this group is bad. If you're anti-immigration, you can be anti-immigration. If you have immigration reforms you want, we can talk about reforms. But like when people bring up these crimes and sensationalize it, they do it for mostly political purposes, to try and scare people into being just anti all immigration or anti certain kinds of immigrants.
No, I can understand that. I'm not entirely anti-immigration. I would like it to be lowered. Rather, I'd like to go back to 1965, to be honest with you. But to me, it's more to do. So if a citizen commits a crime, we can track them. We have a good idea of where they'll be. We have a way of kind of figuring out where they are. With the illegal immigrant, like the instance, the gentleman in Athens, I don't think gentleman, but the guy in Athens, we can't really trace that guy. It's for I don't. You do hear about the 2 I believe that there were 2 men from Syria that tried to bust into Quantico?
I don't know. I'm just trying to think about like what policies could be adjusted, because there are policies that could easily be changed to take care of things that you're saying that you care about. And I'm trying to see about that, because if you have issues with sanctuary policies, for example, that could be adjusted and that could be pushed for. But regardless, violating the Constitution very blatantly, there's no reason to enact something like the Aliens Enemies Act or whatever. And like, it's really bad that that's happening. We should be changing policies, not looking for an authoritarian dictator to do it.
No, I agree, and I think this is an issue with the executive order system. Is it's basically created a way for the president to basically supersede the executive and the legislative branch. But this is something that's gone
well,
back.
No governmental system can survive electing an authoritarian like this, especially after they already tried to take an election and that they lost and say they won it. After that, if you re-elect that person, I don't think there's any constitutional or parliamentary system that can reject that person, unless if the people do. So I'm not sure how that can be really fixed. And people still like Trump, although he's he has the worst policies of all time for pretty much everything. He speaks with zero coherence about the world at all. He's a bad overall person who was never, does not understand working class people at all, except they say the same things about immigrants as each other. There's nothing you can do to protect against this, man. I agree, executive power is too overblown, but like, I do not want a president. And by the way, like you can say there's executive overreach, but it's not even that. It's not legal. Like he's denying federal court orders. No president has done this since Andrew Jackson, which J.D. Vance has brought up as a good thing. And Dan Bongino, who's the FBI co-director, he has said that the president should ignore every court order and do what he wants because he owns the executive branch. What are they going to do? Court-martial him? What are they going to do? Like hold him accountable? Trump owns the police. So like they're very openly authoritarians. They're very openly wanting a dictatorship. They are very openly wanting this. J.D. Vance has said this. Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, all the people in charge of law enforcement, Pam Bondi, the Supreme Court justices, they have said they want a dictatorship blatantly.
I think Trump has authoritarian tendencies, and I would liken him to an Andrew Jackson figure. I actually appreciate you bringing that. I think the issue I do think the Republic will survive him.
I don't think, in the same way, I don't think it will. Like, it's going to have to change.
We survived much, much worse in this country. I mean, forget the president. Post-Civil War president basically won by cheating. He made a deal with the South to let them vote. Basically supplanted the electoral system.
When it comes to our republic, though, like Donald Trump, like January 6th was caused by him. He currently supports January 6th. I know he pretended like before he didn't mean to do it, but now he supports it. He says the cops are the enemies on that day and that the rioters were on his team and he likes them. He said the rioters were the true victims and the cops were the enemies. And he still lies about it. He lies about everything. No president has done this before. No one has ever done this, and it can look different. But like in terms of the modern presidency, no president has openly justified court orders like this. And openly said they want to be a king, and openly said they can make up laws, and called for MSNBC and CNN and any journalism to be illegal, jailing people or deporting green card holders for anti-American speech, quote unquote. These are all very, very new things, and it might not look as bad right now, but we are on. These are the stages that get you to the place where the terrible thing does happen. Like Nazi Germany was not the Holocaust right away. It took 20 years for it to go from Hitler trying to do a coup to Hitler causing the actual Holocaust. It took 20 years. It takes a long time, but we are going on that direction, like one for one. If we look at the stages of Nazi Germany, we're going on those stages. We're about 40% to some type of Holocaust event, maybe even further along. So like, in terms of the legal system, just the legal system alone, the Nazi judges and the Nazi lawyers made the same arguments that the MAGA lawyers make right now, just objectively, historically, the same quotes, the same sentences. J.D. Vance went on, J.D. Vance was on the news saying that multiculturalism is going to kill Europe if they keep on bringing in incompatible immigrants who ruin their cultural, like, it's just like he's saying literal Hitler quotes. That's a literal Hitler quote, and you can agree with it, but you have to reckon with that being a justification that was used by Adolf Hitler and other supremacists and other people who wanted ethno-states. You just have to have the reason with why you agree with that stuff. But it is really scary to hear the U.S. president talking about multiculturalism being the biggest threat to humanity.
I disagree. Well, let me tackle the first part. This has happened before. I don't know if you ever heard of Woodrow Wilson or his policies. He had something called the Sedition Act, basically during World War I. If you were a newspaper that was anti-war, your paper got shut down. Your editors, journalists got thrown in jail. If you protested the war, you got thrown in jail for an indefinite period that would be decided after the war. People died in prison. Abraham Lincoln did the exact same thing during the Civil War, where he shut down the Chicago Tribune and tossed its main editor into jail.
I know this, but these are very old examples, very bad examples. And like the Alien Enemies Act, the last time we used that, and the only times we ever used that was for things like Japanese internment camps, and Trump wants to do that too. So he wants the combination of the worst shit that ever happened with our presidency. He wants a combination of it. This is the biggest overreach. I mean, in the modern presidency, and you could bring up Iraq and Afghanistan being covered in a certain way or being biased, or, you know, the government not taking, even then it wasn't nearly as bad. We're not in a war right now. If we were in wartime, by the way, if we were suffering a Great Depression and an actual war, I would understand people falling to the demagogue leader, but we're not. Like, America is, I mean, the past 4 years in America, the working class wages have been the highest of all time. Even adjusted for inflation, working class wages hit all-time high under Biden, and Biden did not get rewarded for it. Right now, we're seeing a purely cultural and social battle. And those are dangerous grounds to be in, because if the American people are messed up now, hating each other, and we're in a good economic period, I'm scared for what it looks like when we're in a serious downturn, man. And I'll end on, we've been talking for a while, but I'll let you end on a point.
Well, I just wanted to tackle your second problem about multicultural, what J.D. Vance said about multiculturalism in Europe. It's a completely different thing. I don't know if you study European politics. I'm probably more better. I'd say I've studied more European politics currently than American politics. I'm sorry, because I'm far more interested in how Europe is. I feel like it's more of a tinderbox than America. But the problem with Europe is, I wouldn't say it's multiculturalism has failed. The problem is that there's integration has failed. I think his words were chosen very poorly, but he ultimately did have a problem that there's an issue over in Europe with integration. You have populations that are coming over to countries like England and Germany as well that do not seek to integrate, they seek to dominate. And I mean,
what populations seek to dominate?
is the majority Muslim population. And you may say that's racist or Islamophobic, which isn't even a word. As Christopher Hitchens said, it's a quote. It's a word created by fascists, used by tools to deceives morons. But ultimately, you have to see that there is a large portion of I'm not going to say all Muslims and migrants to these countries, but there's a good portion that seek to supplant the democratic governments and replace it with a Sharia government. I mean,
you're saying that the 5% Muslim population of Germany is trying to supplant the German government. There's no evidence of this. This is a complete far right talking point. Are you sympathetic to Nazi ideology by chance?
No, I despise Nazi ideology.
No, you don't. No, you would agree with them on a lot of things, depending on what the topic was and what the race is. Like right now, the things you're saying about Muslim people in Germany is not supported by any factual evidence at all. And even in Muslim people in Germany, the percentage of them that are like conservative traditionalists or fundamentalists is extremely small as well.
I mentioned the UK as well as Germany, and if you look at people in the Labour Party, which is the left-wing party over there, if you're not aware, you can see that there's Islamist attitudes in many of the Muslim MPs over there. The recent I think it was the head of the Secretary of Education or some form of head of education over there that's been appointed by Keir Starmer, the new Prime Minister. He's made certain statements that show he's more of the what word I could say. He's of the Islamist variety. If you catch my drift, he's somebody who is more has ties to certain people who are associated with the Muslim Brotherhood, which I don't know if you're, who they are.
Okay, so J.D. Vance very specifically said that multiculturalism is going to kill Europe. That alone is what Hitler said in Mein Kampf. That's one thing Hitler said. We need less global integration. We need less international politics. Hitler hated the idea that countries would integrate with other countries. He hated immigration. He hated multiculturalism. That's probably the main point of Hitler, was hating multiculturalism. Also hating professors. J.D. Vance has said that professors are the enemy, which is straight from every authoritarian dictator, literally every one of them. The only people that ever said professors are the enemy are dictators. And it's like, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Nothing matters. If he wants to be Hitler, he could be Hitler. And J.D. Vance, J.D. Vance also follows Nazis on Twitter too, so it's whatever. I don't care.
Well, following is an endorsement, I believe.
If I follow fucking Nazis, I hate you people. Shut up. Goodbye. I hate you people. I'm going to bed. Following Nazis is not an issue. It's not an endorsement just because the vice president follows Nazis. It's not an issue that the vice president follows Nazis. It's not an endorsement that the vice president follows Nazis. He just follows Nazis. It's not an endorsement. He just follows Nazis. Vice president. Doesn't matter. Not an endorsement. He doesn't endorse it. He follows Nazis on Twitter and then he goes and rants about multiculturalism killing Europe. Weird. He follows Nazis and he rants about multiculturalism. Multiculturalism killing Europe. Wow. Those things don't matter. It's a coincidence. The vice president. He just follows Nazis. It just happens, dude. They agree on a lot of stuff. So there's a chance he didn't know they were Nazis when he followed them. That guy didn't even deny it. He did not even say, no, J.D. Vance does not follow Nazis. He said, well, I mean, just because he's friends with Nazis doesn't mean he likes Nazis. Just because he's friends with them. Wow. That's awesome. I love that. He just likes what they say, dude. He's not friends with Nazis. He's not endorsing them. He just really likes what they say and he's best friends with them. Like, come on, dude. Grow up. Get real. Go to the God. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for $10, M. I appreciate your hard work. MAGA trolls in the chat can suck it. Thank you, M. Really appreciate it. Thank you, M. $10. And Bucky, I saw Bucky said something. Thank you, Bucky. I think. Lag. It's lagging. Computer lagging. Thank you, Bucky, for $5. Thank you. Bucky said, sad they won't do town halls, but they say violence is the answer. Please drop a like on the stream, hit subscribe. Please consider donating to Jolah Politics on Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App. Jolah Politics, JOLAHPOLITICS, Jolah Politics on PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo. You could also donate on Ko-Fi, Coffee. Please consider dropping a donation if you support the channel. I have 2 streams running at all times. I'm going to do my usual thing where I go to the regular stream. I have a horizontal and a YouTube Shorts. If you're on YouTube Shorts, go over to the horizontal for a little bit. I'll open up a YouTube Short stream in another minute. I need a little break. Then I'll take more calls after that, okay? If you want to call in, call back in 5 minutes. Taking a little break. Little mini break. Oh, God, dude. Shout out Chuck Schumer. Shout out Chuck Schumer, bro. Shout out Chuck Schumer. Love Chuck Schumer. Shut up. Kate just called me fat. Kate said, "Can we watch you eat a salad this time?" That's really, really
on
mean.
Friday.
That's really mean. That's so mean. I don't know how to come back from that. That's so mean, dude. Spying on a North Korean satellite. I was reading a lot about North Korea. Because I really want to know more about authoritarian governments to practice or to learn more about what Trump's doing. North Korea Jusei? There's the ideology. This ideology. A video at 3,000 views. I don't know. Will this be a good video?
G'day lads, it's the Butcher. Today I want to talk to you about a fascinating ideology
Thank you, Red, for $5.
that has shaped the political and social landscape.
Kinda dead tonight. I had 300 viewers on the short stream, on the shorts. That's all that matters. Not really. I'm dead tonight. I want to die. No, I'm kidding. I forgot. I can't say that on the internet. I want to be alive. I want to die. I don't want to die.
Landscape of
I don't want to die today.
This ideology is known as Juche. Now, Juche is a
I
term
wanna
that
be
is
alive.
derived from
I
the
wanna be
Korean word
alive.
Ju, meaning subject or
I don't want to
master,
die.
and che,
Let me tell
which
you why.
means like body or
All right, I'm good now.
method. Juche is often translated as self-reliance or
What's with the echo on this video?
self-determination, but it's more than just those words. Juche is a complete and comprehensive ideology that is unique to North Korea, and it has had a significant impact on the country's political, economic, and social development. I got this video idea from a comment on my YouTube community post by this guy.
Okay, this is... Bro, why the echo? I don't want to hear about the ideology. This person looks like an anime person.
Hello everybody. What is the state ideology of North Korea, which is kinda controversial among leftists?
Oh no. I just want to hear about the North Korean ideology, their view of self-reliance and work. And there's a bunch of...
G'day lads, it's the Butcher.
Thank you. Thank you, Forte. Be prepared for when Trump makes his move. No, I'm not. Thank you for $5. Thank you, Rogue USAID employee. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day. You realize if the government comes from you, it does not matter if you have your Second Amendment right. You realize that, right? Like, that's not going to protect you. That's not a real... It's not going to protect you. If they really choose to do that. When did Kim Jong-un answer a question from... Wow.
side by side as if they're watching a fantasy movie.
그 사이 우리는 많이 노력도 해왔고 이제는 그것을 보여줄 때가 됐다고 보여줄 때가 와서.
I forgot when this happened. I forgot what it was like because I was like 2 years old.
이틀째 지금 저 훌륭한 대화를 이어가고 있습니다.
So we have made a lot of efforts so far, and we thought that now it's time for us to come to Hanoi, sit together, and then have this wonderful dialogue.
오늘도 역시 훌륭한.
He looks like a baby. Like he looks like a really old baby. Like he looks like a very elderly baby who just like became a person, became a man, became an adult. Doesn't he look like a baby? DoorDash some McDonald's. If you want me to DoorDash McDonald's, send me money on Cash App or PayPal or something, dude. I'm just kidding. But he looks like a big baby, dude. Like even he's a thick boy. I'm offended for babies. Thank you for $5. Trump has 77
And
million.
let me
Okay,
assure
I'm
you
not.
that I would do all my best
Thank
to
you for
bring a
$5.
good
Thank you for
result
$5.
ultimately today. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Chairman Kim, and it's great to be with you again, and I'm sure over the years we'll be together a lot.
It's just wild considering that didn't North Korea just kill the one like college student like before they met, or was that after they met? Was that before they met when North Korea killed the college student and tortured him to a vegetative state or whatever? Did Trump meet with North Korea before or after the student was killed? The U.S. student, right? What was his name again? I forget. Let's see. After. Bro. Because that was in 2016 under Obama. Alright. Wait. But he was released in June 13th, 2017. What happened at that time? Like when Trump met with them as like buddies. Like after they violently tortured a U.S. citizen and returned the ultimate sign of disrespect. Thank you. Jolah fan account? Yeah, a month or two. Yeah, the auto. Isn't that crazy that Trump was able to just do this? Or I mean, well, he's an authoritarian, so he can be friends with authoritarians. I love being friends with authoritarians. Authoritarians are the best, dude. It's the best. Kim Jong-un says he's willing to denuclearize. I love the propaganda. Yeah, North Korea is who I'm going to trust for my information. I really trust North Korea for their word. North Korea always says things that are very, very founded in fact and reality. Bernie Sanders praised it.
In light of the recent events in Venezuela, you came out against U.S. intervention, a contentious stance as many in Venezuela are currently suffering at the hands of Maduro through starvation and violence, and it is clear that he will not let humanitarian aid in. Under these circumstances and moving forward, do you have a clear position on U.S. intervention overseas, both economically and militarily, for nations that are under the regimes of these oppressive dictators?
Thank you. Good question. There are a lot of awful things happening in the world, and what's going on in Venezuela is terrible. Their economy is a disaster. People are living in hunger and in fear. I strongly believe there has to be an international humanitarian effort to improve lives for the people. I think the evidence is pretty clear that the last election in Venezuela was not a free and fair election. And
what did Bernie vote for the Ukraine aid? Did Bernie vote for or against Ukraine aid? I'm really curious. I forget. Wait, did Bernie vote for or against Ukraine aid? I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just gonna do. Oh, okay. I understand. So Bernie voted in favor. Okay, he voted in favor of the Ukraine aid package that was only Ukraine for $40 billion, but he voted against Ukraine aid when it included Israel aid as well, right? So that's where they get the other numbers from. So like in the bills, is that where Trump gets the lie from? By the way, when Trump says that we gave $300 billion to, or $350 billion or $500 billion to Ukraine in aid, is he quoting the entire cost of of all the bills? Because a lot of the aid to Ukraine was packaged together in a foreign aid package that included aid to Israel and Ukraine and a bunch of other countries. So when he lies about that, maybe they get numbers from that. So Bernie was in favor of Ukraine aid, but not when it was tied to Israel aid. This important nuance. I think I'm just gonna watch Bernie Sanders interviews from 2020 and pretend we're still in that year, and pretend we're still there.
BBC я обещал, да, пожалуйста. Они обещали нам
Vladimir Putin challenged on his 25-year rule of Russia.
Да, вы обещали напасть. Но они без обещаний с удовольствием это делают. У меня работа такая, они же деньги получают.
BBC News. Ровно 25 лет назад Борис Николаевич Ельцин ушел в отставку, передал вам власть и сказал вам: берегите Россию. Вот спустя 25 лет, вот как вы считаете, вы уберегли Россию? Потому что со стороны, что мы видим? Мы видим значительные потери в так называемой СТО, которую вы объявили.
Okay, so he says to Putin, you were given this country 25 years ago to take care of it. Did you take care of it? And given the special military operation, which is the invasion of Ukraine, there were substantial losses.
Мы видим украинских
You
солдат,
see Ukrainian soldiers in the Kursk region.
которые в Курской области. Вы критикуете расширение
You
НАТО.
criticize NATO expansion, but there is now more NATO on Russia borders. There's more NATO on Russia borders, true.
Но стало больше.
Interesting too, because like Putin, Russia needs to interact with other countries, and China does as well. So they're very isolationist and authoritarian, but they need some interaction globally because they need to sell oil and sell different things. North Korea does not need to, because they're just like, North Korea is like a child of China and Russia. North Korea originally got nukes because of the Soviet Union, and like the Korean War was basically the Soviet Union versus America, but through basically proxy. And that war was started because the Soviets were confident the U.S. would not come attack. The U.S. would not come support South Korea. I mean, it was one Korea at the time, but the southern of the Korea that was more pro freedom. The Soviet Union thought that the U.S. was not going to come help them, and then the Soviets became friends with the Communist part of North Korea and. Of Korea, sorry, Communist part of Korea, and then there was a line drawn between both of those. But it's interesting to see Putin get questions from outside his state-run media. Thank you for $5, Forte player. Wow, Van Dread, good.
Больше НАТО, да, на рубежах России, Швеция, Финляндия. Санкции, высокая инфляция.
Sanctions, high inflation, and demographic problems.
Демографические проблемы. Но вот как вы считаете,
You think you're
вы
taking care of your
уберегли
country?
свою страну?
Да, я считаю, что не просто уберег, я считаю, что мы отошли от края пропасти.
Yes, I did not just take care of it. I pulled it from the edge of abyss.
Потому что все, что происходило с Россией до этого и после, вело нас к полному, фактически полной тотальной утрате нашего суверенитета. А без суверенитета Россия существовать как самостоятельное государство не может. Обращаю ваше внимание на то, что вы сказали в отношении Бориса Николаевича Ельцина. Все было как бы хорошо. Его покровительственно хлопали по плечу. Не замечали даже, когда он немножко прикладывался к рюмочке. Он был очень приятен во всех западных кругах.
Только
он сказал о том, что это противоречит международному... Как только он сказал дал голос в защиту Югославии, как только он сказал о том, что это противоречит международному праву...
I'm sorry, I've just been looking up a bunch of stuff about dictatorships, dude. I've been really just like... I've been just watching a bunch of videos about dictatorships.
И уставу ООН, как только он сказал, что это недопустимо в современной Европе наносить удары по Белграду, по столице европейского государства без санкций Совета Безопасности ООН.
Putin got a lot of work done too. You could tell his face is very pretty, like not pretty. It's stretched, and it's a lot of work. But you can see in like his age in his hand. You see when you look at his hand, you can tell how old he is. Which is kind of interesting. But they all got work done. A lot of work done. 931 number. Call back in. I saw someone call. Call back in 931 number. You gotta be entertainment for us. Call back in, buddy. Call back in, buddy, old pal. Thank you for $5. What do you think of Chuck Schumer's betrayal? Chuck Schumer needs to be out of the party as soon as possible. Hi, this is the YouTube stream. What's up?
Hey man, no, I just saw this stream and just seeing if it was real, man.
It's not real, dude.
What do you mean it's not real?
You're not talking to a person right now. You're talking to an AI robot.
No, I'm not that dumb, bro. This is a real human.
Are you sure about that?
Bro, I'm watching your AI robot.
Are you sure about that?
100%, man. Trump is terrible, bro. I agree. I voted for the guy. I'm Spanish myself. So, yeah, man.
Do you regret your vote?
I don't regret it, bro. You know what? That's funny that you asked that. You're the third person that's asked me that. I don't regret it. Only because Kamala was not a better alternative, bro.
Why?
I don't regret it, bro. You know? There's a lot of latency here, man. Let me wait for my audio to go through. And look, Kamala was not a better alternative. I don't know too much, but what I do know is that I got kids, and to me, Democrats are pushing all this. I sound like the narrative, right? All this woke shit with LGBTQ. I feel like they're trying to put that in the next 10, 15 years, bro. Little kids are going to be trying to identify like snakes and horses and shit. That's one reason.
Okay. So you're afraid of gay people?
No, I'm not afraid of gay people, bro. My thing is that I think there's a lot of programming, bro. You're crazy right now if you're trying to tell me there's no such thing as programming. They're trying to put
Well,
that
you're
shit in schools,
programmed.
bro. What do you
You're
mean?
programmed to be afraid of gay people.
I'm not afraid. You know what that means to be afraid? Come on,
Do you
bro.
think like if you're around a gay person, do you think you're more likely to be gay?
Bro, hold on. I hear a lot of latency, man. Yeah, I could say that, yeah.
I think that means you're gay though. If you're just like gay because you're around gay guys, that probably means you're gay. I don't think you just
No,
like
I don't
turn gay.
I don't have a gay contact in my life. Maybe not as much as you. I don't have any in my contacts. No. Since you're trying to troll, let's troll. I thought we were here to have a conversation, man.
Well, you're saying there's programming, which is like a super, scary word, but there's just like gay people who exist and a bunch of people who exist, and there's not really people trying to convince anyone to be anything. A lot of people just are different things. And can people go through experimental phases in life? Sure. But as far as like voting for someone for president just because you don't like gay people, it's kind of weird. You just seem insecure about it then.
No, this is actually, look, I can look at you and I can tell you probably don't have no kids right now. The programming is real. When you put flags, rainbow flags everywhere, and this is what represents your group, programming is real, bro. Are you trying to tell me there is no programming?
In terms
see all
of
these
people
videos.
being
You see all
accepting of
these
gay people, sure. I think it's good to be programmed to
You
accept
see
gay
all these
people.
videos of parents.
It's not good to
You
convince
see all
anyone
these
to be
videos of
gay or to
parents
be
in their
trans.
school
If they
board.
are that, it's okay, but you shouldn't be convincing people for sure.
No, for sure, and I like that you say that. That's true, and that's my argument. I'm not trying to make it more than what it is.
You're saying people are
Exactly what you
convincing
said.
kids to be gay.
The programming is real, not people. That means you're identifying. I'm saying there's an agenda, bro. Yes, there's an agenda behind that,
Do you think people want to be trans?
bro. Trans people don't even want to be trans.
Yeah, it's not something people really choose.
What's your argument, man? Trump is terrible. What's your argument, man?
Well, first off, he's a really bad person overall. He's just a really bad guy. He's from a very extremely rich background. He does not get working people at all. His policies are really anti-working people. He's anti-labor protections. He's anti-unions. He's anti-Medicaid. He's anti-Medicare. He's anti-Social Security. He's anti-healthcare.
Bro, he said, no, hold on, healthcare, Social Security. My dad's on Social Security. He said Social Security's not going to get touched. What have they done with Social Security? My dad hasn't stopped getting a check. My dad said he's actually
No, not yet, not yet. He tried cutting Social Security with every budget as president. He's gonna try cutting it again, not right away, but eventually, maybe year 1 or year 2. But he did try cutting it the first time around. He lied about that. He lies about everything. You can bring up any Trump policy.
Really?
I could tell you more about it, but
Damn.
he did try cutting it. And his like budgets they voted for, the Republicans in Congress, they've been trying to like privatize Social Security for probably 50 years, maybe 60.
What does privatize mean? What does
Privatize
mean?
means so like
private company.
no, so
It
like
always comes from the government, from taxpayers.
no, so Social Security would be like, for example, they would just like steal Social Security money and force everyone to just like put extra money into their like 401ks, for example, like retirement accounts. So like companies can profit off of it. Instead of having it be an insurance program that helps like alleviate poverty, it would just leave a lot of people in poverty that are going to be stuck there. Like if you're a working class person, you're probably screwed for a
That's
lot.
already happening, bro. Bro, that's already happening. 401k. When I look into my 9-to-5 job, and they present to me the whole 401k. There's a mention in there about Vanguard has their own program of 401k and IRA, and then you got on the paper from work it says BlackRock. So the fact that 401k is already somewhat privatized, it's already there.
No.
That's
So
just been going on,
Social
bro.
Security is not. No. I'm saying that like Social Security is a separate thing from like private investments
No,
or
no,
like
I mean,
retirement.
just-
So like Social Security is a private fund. It's self-funding. It's an insurance program. It lowers senior poverty by like 50% or more. And it just like helps. It's been really beneficial to America. But Social Security is different from that retirement account. It's really good for especially poor people. It helps poor people. It just helps poor people.
Yeah. No, for sure, bro, for sure.
But they want to kill that, and I think it's a bad thing because like I know a lot of poor people who need Social
I
Security to survive.
I haven't seen anything or heard anything as far as the video. 'Cause Trump goes viral every day, but
But
I
if
know
he,
that
like,
once
will you regret
signs,
if he does
once
cut
he
it?
signs-
Like,
I'm saying once he signs these executive orders, I try to go look them up, and you can, if you read in between the lines, obviously there's a lot of small print, like terms, like like on just any contract. There's small little terms on there which goes beyond what the media just shows. But him just posting up the executive order like for the camera.
well, yeah,
with the signature
and I researched the stuff past what the media shows because what the media shows benefits Trump a lot. So I really do. I mean, I work in policy. I understand policy. That's why I don't like Trump. But people that don't know that much about policy, and that's fine. But people that don't like policy,
What do you do
like
for
Trump,
a living, man?
I don't really talk about what I do for a living. I work in policy though. Like I'm
What
trained
does that mean?
in
What
public policy.
industry is that?
I understand how laws work and how policies work for companies and governments. So I do like I know how to do policy analysis. I know how the bills typically function. I know how the government functions with policies and how policies affect the American people. And Trump lies to people who don't know that much about it, and that's how Trump is successful. But really, he's gonna do a lot of bad things. And I'll cover it on my channel as they happen. I can't really go through them all now because I'm also tired too. But I mean, I hope to see you around the channel if you stick around and watch a little bit. I take call-ins like 10 p.m. Eastern time, usually 9 p.m. Eastern time most nights. So.
Hey man, what industry are you in? Because what that'll give me.
I don't talk about.
Kind of like
well, okay,
industry,
so like I'm trained in policy. So like for example, if you want to know how how Narcan affects the opioid epidemic, or how like different treatments or different like policies for a state government can work. Your return on investment for a policy, like building roads and stuff. I could do policy analysis. That's the kind of stuff I work in.
Okay. I mean, I've never heard that occupation, so.
Yeah, and well, no one hears anything about anything because no one tells them, especially the media. Liberal media doesn't tell anyone either.
That's not a very popular occupation, but yeah, okay.
Well, yeah, if public policy was more in focus, then neither Trump or Kamala would have been candidates. So.
What do you go to school for to do that? Like, what did you?
I have a
You
master's
to
in
go to
public
college.
policy. It's just understanding how governments and
Oh.
corporations work.
Okay.
So I took corporate classes and corporate policy, corporate ethics, that kind of stuff. I also took state government courses, master's level. I wrote my master's thesis on the opioid epidemic, that kind of stuff. So yeah. Yeah, whenever there's like systems for anything, like roads or like bridges or healthcare systems or I don't know, emergency services, usually public policy analysts or people that write laws. Like if a congressperson ever writes a law, by the way, that's never done by the congressperson. That's all the policy analysts. So like, if someone with a policy degree can actually write the laws that are put into action. This is for Republicans
So
and
there's
Democrats.
so there's a lot of guys like you, a lot of guys and gals like you, writing it up. Almost, let's say, in analogy, a songwriter, and then he brings a song over to the artist.
Yeah, and they like do it for final approval. But when they write budgets and stuff, the Congress people don't write anything. Yeah, they have people working for them to do it. So
Yeah, I mean,
anything the government
I
does
don't-
at
I
all
don't-
is policy
yeah.
writers and stuff.
That's good. And you know what? I thought to myself, all these things that Trump comes up with, obviously, I'm seeing him in a round table. He's obviously getting ideas from his, supposedly his group, his peers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all these things that ran through his campaign. So I'm glad you told me that because I didn't know that was a thing. That's
Well, you see him pick up the things they give him. He barely knows half the time what he's signing. He's like, "Which one is this again?" You're like, "Well, this is gonna like change the whole world." He's like, "Oh, okay, whatever," and he signs it, kind of throws it to the side. He likes making a show out of it.
Bro, he likes making a show out of everything. This whole $250 bill with his face on it. That's like that's his big ego. Very, very extremely big ego because he can type shit. You know what
Yeah,
I
I
mean?
mean,
So, there's a
and
lot
that's
of
not
shit-
good
There's a lot
though.
of shit that I do not like, bro. There's a lot of shit that I do not like as a voter. I voted for him. There's a lot of shit
Are
that
there
I
any
do not like.
Democrats you do
I'm
like? Are there any Democratic politicians you do like?
I don't.
There's not one at all.
I'm not very heavy into politics. If they have a name, if they went popular or viral for something, I know them and I might look them up and all that. But besides
Do you know
that,
like do you know AOC?
yes, I've heard of her out there in New York.
I assume you don't like her.
Well, I mean, she's cute, man. But besides that, a lot of shit that she says when I hear her talk, it's completely against. Again, it gives that Democratic vibe with all the shit that, like, even Nancy Pelosi during COVID, she kept going up there saying for the American people, for the American people. That's the shit that she sounds like. It's like
Do you
they're
think
out of
like
touch.
it's like AOC, for example, is she someone that you think you would hear out if you heard more about her, if she does like interviews and stuff like that, or becomes more mainstream? Because a lot of the stuff, like the liberal media will show Trump in the worst way possible, and the right wing media will show her in the worst way possible. Do you think, like versus Pelosi, do you think you'd hear her out more than you would Pelosi, or just like give a chance?
I mean, I again, Trump goes viral every day, even in his first term.
True.
All the shit with Nancy Pelosi ripping up the paper behind him, right? I'm watching this stuff every day, and so are millions of people, right? Millions of people are getting rich off YouTube just talking about Trump.
I'm trying to
know
get
what I
rich
mean?
off
People are able
YouTube.
to
I
live
hope
off
so.
that.
I hope so someday.
Huh?
Before they block me. Yeah, I mean, I hope to get rich off YouTube when I'm talking about Trump. That sounds super fun.
You're not making money off YouTube?
I'm not getting rich.
I mean, you're making more than $10,000 a month?
No, I'm probably making 1/10 of that per month.
That's okay, man.
I mean, it's
Hey,
still
I don't know.
obviously nice because people donate to support
Man,
my content. But
Man, you are better than the people who started the channel today, bro. They got 0 subscribers.
hell yeah. Hey man, if you see the channel up, yeah, hope you hop in. Watch every now and then
I
when
just
big
subscribed,
events
man.
happen.
I just subscribed.
It's usually talking about like I mean, I usually take callers. It's whatever if you watch streams or not. I'm gonna try to post more videos too, like a radio call-in format, because I know people don't have time to sit through like 4-hour streams. So I want to make sure I post video clips so people have stuff to watch when they're at work and stuff. But yeah, I hope to see you around here. And politics sucks, but I appreciate the conversation, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Take care.
All right, have a
man.
good night,
I
man.
just subscribe. All right,
I
man.
appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
Call from
Melvin.
Hello, sir.
Yes, hello.
What's up?
Yeah, I'm just calling in to, civilly discuss, my disagreement with you.
I love civilly discussing ideas or disagreements.
Yeah, I mean,
If you have my stream on, can you mute it in the background or pause it?
I will. And to add on to what I was saying, I think that's what makes America great. We should, no matter how controversial your view is to me or my view is to you, we should appreciate our freedom of speech, to be able to discuss this, our freedom to the press, and our freedom to disagree. I mean, that's what makes our country great. That even though you're on one other end of the aisle in comparison to me, censorship is never the, in my opinion, is never the solution for any disagreement.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I don't like Trump calling for journalists to be banned or saying that law firms are illegal because they disagree with him. And also deporting green card holders for having opinions he doesn't like. So I agree, but I think we need to hold that standard everywhere.
No, I would agree if this is something that he is doing, but also I don't agree with what the left has done in the sense of how they tried to censor him completely, tried to go after him as their political rival, just because he has more of a conservative opinion. I mean,
he did things to go after though. He did some illegal things with the 2020 election. He did some illegal things with obstructing justice, for the Russia investigations. So he did do some things that are definitely worth looking into.
well, the whole Russia investigation was a complete hoax. He wasn't in Russia.
Okay, so the report that came out did conclude that they could not define a definite effort to collude together with Russia for his campaign to work directly with Russia. They did conclude that Russia is helping Trump win, or they wanted Trump to win, and they were sending out bot farms on Facebook and social media platforms to help push Trump messaging. But they did not confirm that Trump was actively communicating with Russia. But Trump did have some weird suspects working for his campaign, but it was not a complete hoax. It was definitely worth looking into, 100%.
I do apologize for interrupting if I am, but at the same time, so you see what you're saying? China has been involved in colluding in our elections. Russia has been involved in colluding in our elections. I know for a fact Europe has been involved. But just because these countries are not involved, if you don't find proof of him being in collusion with them, it was found that it was actually Hunter Biden who came up with, in conjunction with Obama, who came up with that whole Russia scheme. So my thing is, if you can't find proof that he was involved with Russia, how are you
but that's what the report was for, right?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Multiple people got arrested during that investigation, by the way, like Roger Stone for obstructing justice and refusing to answer questions. So, Trump's people did do illegal things to try to hide evidence about Russia and Trump, which seems a little bit suspect. I'm just saying what the facts of the case are. It seemed a little bit suspect. It seemed a little suspect that Trump's people were trying to protect some information from them. But in general, Obama didn't make something up, or no one made stuff up. Trump had people like Paul Manafort, for example. That's one name to look for in Trump's campaign. He was a literal Russian operative in Ukraine from 2004 to 2014. Paul Manafort is very pro-Russia. But I want to talk about the Russia supposed hoax thing. Looking into Trump there for the Mueller investigation was completely justified, 100% justified. Looking into that, definitely justified. The 2020 election that Trump lied about and tried to do illegal shit to overturn it, looking into January 6th, that's totally justified as well.
It's because of what they were doing in Pennsylvania. They were running ballots and ballots and ballots. I mean, dead people were voting.
No, they were not doing that. That's not true at all. That's not true. The only dead people in Pennsylvania that voted for Trump were that voted were for Trump. There's no issue with rerunning ballots. That's not true at all. I know Pam Bondi said something about that. I work very okay. You don't know. I work very intimately. Hey, I work. Hey, buddy. On Pennsylvania. Hey, no. It's not both sides. There's two facts, or there's one fact. Okay, I know Pennsylvania elections very intimately, and I know there was not any error in Pennsylvania elections, and Trump's own legal team could not provide any evidence.
I would 100% know that every single vote that was counted was not done in there.
Did you know that? Did you? Hey, calm. Wait. Did you know that Trump's legal team provided 0 pieces of evidence about this at all in every court case and everything leading up to this point? There is still 0 evidence about actual fraud in Pennsylvania, other than online stories. Trump's legal team in court, when it had to come to bringing evidence or making actual claims, they ran away like scared puppy dogs because they had nothing about this. Like, that's a complete conspiracy. There were no issues in Pennsylvania with the integrity of the election.
Recount of the votes. He wasn't. He wanted a recount of the votes, which he
they
should
got
have
recounts.
the right to.
No, they got recounts already. They did have multiple certifications in multiple parts of the state.
Right to recount, and Georgia wouldn't even listen to him when they said he so-called did the perfect phone call. You see what I'm saying?
Well, in the Georgia call, if you listen to it, he was asking them to find votes for him.
No, he was
and
saying
to turn in, and he wanted to seize voting machines as well.
And then on top of that, if there wasn't so much fraud done in the 2020 elections, why would people riot? Like, why would people riot? Now Trump just got revoted in.
Because Trump lied to them. Because Trump lies to them, and he lied to them and brought them to the Capitol with the intention of sending them to the Capitol to protest.
Trump said.
And by the way, Georgia conducted Georgia. Did you know Georgia? Did you know that Georgia did multiple recounts? Did you know Georgia did a hand recount as well?
I have not researched into that information.
I know you have not researched into this. I know you're not, because you would know that's a very basic fact, but Trump lies about it and you believe it. And this is a message for me to America. I need everyone to stop believing whatever they hear on the internet. We could look this up in 2 seconds. Look up the multiple Georgia recounts by hand counts that certify that Joe Biden won the election. Multiple times it was recounted, and you're coming in here yelling at me. I know a lot about Pennsylvania elections, but also Georgia too. You have to just
take it as yelling at you. I'm just passionate about this. So
no, but you shouldn't be passionate about something. But do you think it might be a problem if you're passionate about something you don't know that much about?
No, I follow my politics. I follow politics. I look at both sides.
Well, you follow people. You're a follower, but you don't follow politics.
No, I follow politics, period. And I've seen many lies which the left skews. Many lies. And I also see lies which the right skews.
Did you know that
the same way that Trump talks about the left, he's talked about the right, and I agree with him on his whole standing on Bush and 9/11. There were a lot of lies with 9/11.
About the election, just really quick. Did you know that after these states did multiple recounts and Trump still lost, he tried seizing voting machines, which is illegal, and they said no. He tried seizing voting machines, and when that didn't work, he kept lying about it, and then he tried hiring a different slate of electors, like the Electoral College. He wanted to just bypass what the states certified as their election results. After the recounts, Trump still wanted to overturn the election. So that's why like January 6th is so bad too, because Trump was trying to overturn it. He knew he lost, but he was still lying about it. Even to this day, he still lies about it, and he pardoned the January 6th people that beat the crap out of cops, and that's really bad too. Like all of this together, it's just like Trump in 2020 election. It's all lies, man.
Listen, I'll give you that you have a good stance in how you articulate your arguments and all that. But I think there's more to it. I mean,
I'm not articulating. I'm reading facts. If you want me to articulate, I can get like really profound about it if you want. But I'm just saying the facts.
Hold on. Let me finish my statement though. On top of that also, if he was so bad, why would he be voted in as president now? Why would he? Why would 50?
The same reason that the same reason people stormed the Capitol, because he's a liar. He lies to people. People thought he's pro Social Security. He tried cutting Social Security in every budget as president. He's a liar. Yeah, I mean, people voting for you doesn't mean you're a good person. They voted for a lot of bad leaders.
Fraud in Social Security. That's what he's trying to do. The fraud.
People get lied to. Oh no, actually, Social Security, he tried cutting it as president the first time around. The fraud they want to cut right now is also fake. Like when they say there's like I don't know, a few 100,000 people who are dead getting benefits, that's not true at all. The budgets, the money from the Treasury that we track going to these agencies, it doesn't even match up to those numbers. And also, we have the reports from the Social Security Administration. We have people today in America that are alive being taken. Their Social Security is being taken away because they're being listed as dead now in the system because Elon Musk doesn't understand the system of Social Security. So like when it comes to waste, fraud, and abuse in Social Security, there's less waste, fraud, and abuse in SS than there is in any private insurance program. So that's also just like not backed up by any fact. Trump's a liar, man. We could go through all these facts. I'm not even articulating. These are lies.
So you're saying everything he's doing is lies, and then more than
Most
half
of
of the
it.
country that voted with for him, that's just because they believe in a liar.
Yeah,
more than half
100%. He's a manipulator. Yeah.
I mean, more than half of the country disagrees with you.
Yeah, I know they disagree with me, but when it comes to the facts, he lied to them. So, I mean, when they say like, why did Trump win? It's because he's willing to lie more than anyone else is.
And also, you got to look at the fact that most of the country swung conservative. So it's not only that Trump was so popular among the masses.
Yeah, but he got popular by lying. You're just like saying things that don't like what you're saying right now does not change the fact he's lying to people to get popular. Like he's lying. He's a liar. And that's what people voted
most
for.
of the country swung right. Almost 90%.
Yeah, okay,
counties.
you're repeating the same thing over and over again. Do you hear yourself? I'm saying that people were lied to. Yeah, they were lied to. Yeah, people were lied to.
The county swung right. Conservative.
Yeah, because they were lied to. Yeah, it doesn't change the fact of what Trump is like when it comes to like his quality of a person.
Stupid that they're not gonna do their own research. You see what I'm saying? Like,
do you realize that you are on this call right now and you're getting emotional? You realize you're getting emotional over stuff you don't know anything about. So I mean, you're a good representative of a lot of people that voted. And you're someone that follows politics and you don't know this stuff.
Talking about because you're the one taking this personal and going at me.
I'm not coming at you. I'm saying that you don't know your facts. And if you don't know your facts and you follow politics, the American people are working hard.
I raise my voice. I'm Puerto Rican. We're loud naturally. That's just how we are. So
okay,
good job. When I'm telling you,
I go to a Puerto Rican barbershop. Amazing. 90%
of counties switch to the right. That's a fact. I'm giving you a fact.
Okay, I agree that the vote changed, but I also Trump lied to people. Okay, those two things can be true, and you can get popular by lying to people. And also, people are mad about pronouns too. People are really babies about pronouns. So like those are the two reasons Trump won: lying and pronouns. Because right now Trump's saying that high prices are actually it's patriotic to pay higher prices because of tariffs.
You see, and this is the problem with this country. You have people commenting, Trump will deport you, caller. Stupid. Puerto Ricans are naturally citizens, and I was born in the U.S. and I'm an Army veteran. I'm not getting deported anywhere. And
who said you're getting deported? Who said that?
Mr. T. Davis. You know that's very ignorant.
Okay,
so
I don't care about.
In other words, which is very offensive.
T. Davis in chat, bad boy. I do not affiliate with T. Davis in chat.
I'm just letting you know. You know, this is what not you in general, but this is what your party does. When someone shows a voice and then do so, and then they go to racist comments, and then they go to calling me a Mexican and stuff like that.
Who called you a Mexican?
I mean,
now?
Facts are facts. I'm Puerto Rican, and I'm an Army veteran.
Okay, I just need to tell you.
Have a freedom of speech. It's me.
In chat.
Okay,
I'm just saying in chat they might do this on purpose now because they're internet trolls and they say really mean things about me too. But now that they know you're mad, they're gonna try to make you more mad. So stop looking at the chat. They're gonna say more mean things. I don't control them.
It's disrespectful when you listen. When you tell me that I need to do more of my research and all that, I'll give you that and I'll respect that. But
okay, well don't go off the YouTube short chats. They're YouTube short chats. They're probably 12 years old. They're probably 12 years old. There's no reason to even look at them. They don't matter.
But look, all I will say is the reason I voted for Trump is because one is I'm an Army veteran. I feel like he's going to do more for the veterans. Two is I agree more with his conservative views, and he's a business guy. I vote with my pockets, and I see nothing but Democrats. I used to be a Democrat. I used to align with the left. But I've seen so much of voting for Democrat and nothing being done for us.
Okay, I have two big questions then. Two big questions.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, so number one would be. Okay, so I have two of them. Number one is, what do you think about the Trump admin cutting 80,000 people, 80,000 employees from the Veterans Affairs, and most of them are vets. They want to cut a lot of federal workers who are vets from the federal government, but mostly like Veterans Affairs. That's number one. And number two, if you vote with your pockets, what do you think about the current stock market and also tariffs?
Well, I will say that I disagree with him cutting veteran jobs. I think he should cut more jobs of people. I agree with him putting limits to Congress, for sure. I agree with him letting the parents make more of the decisions in the school system, because if my child is going into school, they should not be pushed. My children should not be pushed.
Hey, I'm sorry. I asked you a question about veterans getting fired from their jobs and about the economy, and you're going back to like being scared of gay people. I'm asking you about the economy and veterans. This is what Trump won.
I apologize. I was just addressing that also. Those are the good things that he's doing. But the economy, first of all, tariffs, I feel like he's just doing that as a form of negotiation to get these countries to the table. America, I get that we have the highest gross domestic product in the world, but we should not be paying for Europe's problems with Ukraine and Russia. We should not be, having these deals with China where it's completely on China's favor and not to our favor. I agree with America first. Look at George Washington's farewell address when he left the office with his farewell address. He said America needs to focus on being isolationist, just focusing on their own country. And I get and respect that it's a global economy, but it's to a certain extent. I agree with us protecting Taiwan because they make a lot of the chips, and if China gets access to all the chips, it's trouble for us because they already have a lot of technology in China, and they have a humongous army. That's all they would need. But other than Taiwan and maybe Israel, because of my religious views, I don't think we should even be involved in any other, affairs, especially with Ukraine. I feel like they should handle that themselves. And I do agree that with his view on NATO, where NATO should, the countries that are in Europe should be putting up more of the money than America. We have a whole ocean between us and Ukraine and Europe. It's not really it's not so much our problem. It could be our problem, but we should not be paying more than all the European countries.
Are you familiar
combined.
with intercontinental missiles and planes and stuff? The American Revolution, we were fighting a war with a country that was over one of those oceans, and also 9/11 happened, and also we also have a lot of technology nowadays that would make cyber warfare more apparent, and it's really complicated. I don't think the oceans really protect us. They don't protect us, but I would just say that there's a reason we did not have a world war for 80 years, and it's because of NATO. It's because we give aid places. It's because we do lead the free world. I don't think we should police the world, but we should definitely help aid the free world. So I definitely support helping Ukraine, and also we have treaties and agreements with different countries we should uphold, such as Ukraine, and it helps America to keep the world more stable. And we actually prevent war. We prevent killing. We prevent people dying at war if we support global stability through foreign aid. So foreign aid is a way to prevent actual wars and to protect our troops.
Well, I mean, it's kind of out.
What do you think about? Wait, what do you know that are you familiar with Article 5 of NATO?
I'm not familiar with most of I've heard of Article 5, but please refresh my mind. Go ahead.
So this is a big issue I have with what Trump says about NATO, because he says NATO doesn't pay their fair share, and he questioned if NATO countries would ever come help the U.S. if the U.S. needed help. And the Article 5 is essentially if one NATO country is attacked or for defense purposes, they could come together and everything. But the U.S. is the only country to ever use Article 5, and other countries' service people died for the U.S. in Afghanistan and Iraq. And when Trump says that NATO would not back us up, I think it's pretty gross, because their soldiers paid the ultimate price to support us, and they have supported us for a long time. And after Hurricane Katrina and all these other disasters, Europe and all these countries gave us huge support. Ukraine was going to send us firefighters for a lot of our wildfires, for example. So all these countries around the world support each other. Democratic nations, free nations supporting each other is a really big deal in making sure the world stays more free, and so that China and Russia cannot rise up and spread their communism.
Well, my disagreement is with NATO is that they're not keeping their part of the bargain. They're not even paying anywhere close to what they said they would pay. And it's similar to the whole situation with the Panama Canal. Panama Canal was built by the U.S., and I know I'm switching topics, but it's to explain to you how the rest of the countries treat us. The Panama Canal was an agreement in which either Panama runs it or the U.S. runs it because we built that canal. And what has happened, China's in there, and now it's a threat to us that China is in the canal, and now it's affecting us to the point where, China's in that mix there. So if China wants to run their navy there, and next thing you know, attack us through the Gulf of Mexico, they can do that because they have access to it. It's similar to NATO. Most of these countries have not agreed to what we'll give them protection. I do agree with Democratic.
I can tell you something really interesting about this.
We all should be putting our fair share according to the agreement that has been set.
Do you know BlackRock?
And that's what I'm getting at.
Do you know BlackRock, the company that people say buy up all the apartments and stuff?
Yeah, I disagree with. Yeah, BlackRock was the company that
I want to tell you something interesting about the Panama Canal.
Civilian security in Iraq too. I disagree with them getting involved. I do disagree with that. So I'm not
Okay,
going to say
do you
I'm the
know?
whole
No, but okay, so
100% supporter of
Blackwater
Trump,
is the
but
private security firm that did war crimes that Trump pardoned. Okay, but like BlackRock, you said Panama Canal was owned by China. So what happened with Panama Canal is Trump is really deep with big
I
money.
didn't say it's owned by China. I said China's in there, and now they're
There's
starting to affect
hail
everything
outside.
with
Wow. BlackRock is owned by, or Trump is really involved with like BlackRock and big money interests. So like two huge ports, Balboa and Cristobal, in Panama, were owned by a Hong Kong-based CK Hutchinson. That was another company, Hutchison, and they were owned by a Chinese-based company in Panama. So Trump helped BlackRock make these acquisitions. So when Trump attacked Panama, it was mainly because he wanted to get BlackRock those ports. So BlackRock was able to buy those ports from China, from Hong Kong. So now, So now, BlackRock, Trump basically attacked Panama and made up the thing about the Chinese people only so that BlackRock would be able to buy ports there, essentially. But I mean, it did go from a Chinese company to an American company. So if you think like BlackRock has America's best interest in mind, then you could be happy that BlackRock bought it. But Trump did attack Panama for the sole reason of helping BlackRock buy those ports in Panama.
Are you aware of China's movements through foreign affairs and the silk trade?
Yeah, and their whole Belt and Road Initiative and spreading in general, which is why I'm also against killing USAID. But
What's your opinion on all that?
I think that tariffing our allies and withdrawing our foreign aid is the best way to help a rising China. And if you look at China's stock market versus the U.S. and Russia's stock market, China and Russia are benefiting from the U.S. right now.
What we're doing with our own. I'm talking about what's your opinion on what China's doing with the Belt and Road Initiative. I'm asking you directly, what is your opinion on what China's doing?
They're going through smaller countries and getting them into bad financial deals so they can basically economically own. It's like a soft imperialism, the way they go about it. But the U.S. right now is going to lose a lot of ground to China if we stop giving foreign aid to countries. Because if we don't get foreign aid to countries, China will, and they'll help expand it'll help expand their Belt and Road Initiative.
Okay.
If we don't have things like USAID.
That's part of the reason I feel like America needs to stay stronger because of what China's doing. China has gotten to the point where they're even infiltrating Europe and Africa with the Belt and Road Initiative, and they're building these ports in these weak countries that are not able to pay them back. They actually did some very corrupt things with Sri Lanka in India. Well, not Sri Lanka, India, but it's so close to India, to where they pretty much ended up owning them ports. And then, these are very unfair deals in which China ends up getting access to those ports, and then they could use their navy, and, they could use their
Yeah, I
economy.
understand. But do you know what I mean, though, with the tariffs? Like, when we tariff our allies and countries around the world and start trade wars, those countries go to China for trade. So it strengthens China globally. And also, if we leave global organizations like the WHO and a bunch of other orgs, China gets all the influence there. So whenever the U.S. leaves, there's a reason. Like, if you look at the Hong Kong markets and the Chinese stock market and Russia as well, the U.S. stock market has taken a huge dip since Trump took office, and China and Russia are having like 5-year highs in their markets, and they're surging right now. And China's making a bunch of new deals globally because people don't know if they could trust the U.S. anymore because we're starting random trade wars even with our closest allies like Canada. So we're helping China right now with our foreign policy. Trump is, and like Canada, I don't know why Canada. Canada's nice. They have maple syrup and stuff.
Well, if you look at Canada also, I mean, Trudeau wanted to stand up to Trump and actually ended up having to stand down because, and China's actually back. I mean, not China. Canada's actually back on the table to want to negotiate these things. So I feel like
what
yeah,
things?
he'd be a little rash, but I also think that these are ways that he's able to negotiate with these countries. So
What are we negotiating right now? I don't know what we're negotiating.
The tariffs.
No, but like, why are we doing tariffs in general?
Because of the fact, I mean, he also stated that these are reciprocal tariffs. These are tariffs that these countries have already had on us, and he's matching the amount.
That's not true. These are new tariffs that Trump is doing. I don't know what tariffs Canada would have had that he's doing reciprocal tariffs for.
Us in any of the products that they put across the border, that pass across the border. They've never tariffed us.
We have the USMCA with Canada and Mexico. That's why it's so confusing, because Trump made that trade deal, and now Trump says the trade deal with Canada and Mexico sucks, so he's saying his own trade deal sucks. But we already had a trade deal that made this stuff very clear. The new tariffs Trump did are an act of trade war and conflict with Canada, which is really weird. And Canada's doing reciprocal tariffs on American goods now. But there's no logical reason for tariffing Canada right now. I don't know if anyone has, like, I have not heard one good argument for it.
think it's. I mean, well, Trudeau was the first one to go back and forth with Trump, and look what happened with him. He's off the table now. They got a new leader now. And
Well,
the new leader
that's because he was. There's elections in Canada. The Conservative Party in Canada was just getting more popular. That's why Trudeau stepped down. Trudeau did not step down to anything to do with Trump. Actually, the Liberal Party in Canada was about to lose on a landslide to the Conservative Party, but Trump's trade war made the Liberal Party in Canada much more popular. So the Liberal Party might actually win the next elections because of Trump in Canada.
Well, I will say I disagree with a lot of your views, and I obviously have to do a lot more research. But I mean, the more I do research, the more. I mean, I'd say also read between the lines, because I mean, you know, I will say respectfully, you know, you do put out a good argument, a good debate, I would say, in your own point of views. But also, I do agree with America first. I do agree with taking care of our own first. And if, you know, I will be the first to say that if Trump is cutting more veteran jobs, I will disagree with that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, if he's cutting jobs also to people who literally work from home, don't show up to an office, don't even do their job, and they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars to not
I don't
do
know who you're
nothing.
talking about, bro. You're just hearing shit too. I know a lot of workers that like federal work. They work like they might work 3 days in person, 2 days at home. That's normal. 3 days in person, 2 days at home is normal for an office job.
Respecting your view, I mean, I would ask for you, you know, with respectfully to look at my view also, because
No, I just know about this stuff. You're talking about people I know that lives are being ruined. Their lives are being ruined because no one's doing their research. It matters.
cutting veteran jobs, I do disagree with that. But to say that all veteran benefits are being cut, that's a lie, because every month I get my veteran disability every month, and that's never.
No,
gonna
I'm
stop.
saying that
And the
they're
veteran
cutting
said-
staff. They're cutting vets' jobs.
have been cut.
Okay, just because you were not affected yet does not mean it'll never affect anyone. I'm just saying they're cutting really vulnerable
Veteran-
populations of vets,
veteran
especially
benefits
disabled
and
vets.
disabilities can never be affected unless they completely took out the Constitution.
Okay,
That's something
so okay, well, Trump is ignoring the Constitution, but that's a whole nother topic. But like, okay, just to end this conversation, I appreciate you calling in. Thank you for the dialogue, and also, America first doesn't mean, in my opinion, and for a fact, America first can mean free trade. American first can mean supporting democracies. American first can mean foreign aid. Like, there's a reason America became the richest country in the world, most powerful country ever.
Doesn't even say the word democracy. You know, this word gets thrown around, and there's nowhere in the Constitution does it say.
Okay, supporting
the word
free countries. Supporting free countries is good.
How
A
would you
constitutional
get there?
republic is a democracy, by the way. But either way, it's still a it's a representative democracy. It's still a form of democracy. Just because we're not like a direct democracy does not mean we're not a democracy. But in general, America first is a slogan. It's nothing more than a slogan. Tariffs are not American first. Hurting our allies in North America is not America first. Ruining our trade deals, ruining our foreign relations, ruining our partners around the world, ruining our allies, shutting down our trade routes and helping China and Russia. It is not helping America. It's not American first. Cutting off America's lumber supply from tariffing by tariffing Canada is not American first. We have really good deals with these countries that benefit both countries. And America right now on the world stage is really bad right now. We have a very unfavorable. Countries view us as very unfavorable right now because they don't know if we could trust us with Trump. America's respect globally is only respected. We're only being respected at all by like Russia and China and North Korea because those authoritarian countries love what Trump's doing because Trump's helping them. But like, American first does not mean isolationism. It does not mean being afraid. It does not mean never doing anything progressive ever. American first can mean a lot of things. But American first, if people just repeat that as a slogan, a lot of the times they're just using it because it sounds good. It just sounds good. You need to hear you need to get actual concrete plans on what they're doing. Is all I would say. But I thank you for calling in. Okay, I don't know if he's here anymore. Yeah, thank you if you're still on the line. Have a good night. He did not respond to me saying good night. How am I gonna sleep if he's not gonna say good night? How am I gonna sleep? How am I gonna sleep? How am I gonna sleep now? How am I gonna sleep? How am I gonna sleep tonight, dude? How am I gonna sleep tonight? How am I gonna sleep tonight? Sleeping. The Democrats didn't even get up and clap for the kid. The Democrats really should have clapped for the kid just because they need to understand how the propaganda works, bro. They need to understand it. Like, they should have clapped for the freaking kid. They obviously should have. Like, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate Appreciate the viewership. Appreciate the likes and the subscriptions. I know it's Sunday night. People have work tomorrow. Appreciate you joining me. If you do have any money laying around, I could definitely appreciate donations. I'm having a donation goal of $500 a week, which is pretty high, but we have some rich people who watch this show, like Jeff, if he ever shows up. JK. But yeah, that's just up there for a goal to meet. I don't need to meet it, but it's just it's an aspiration, not a goal. But if you have any donations for Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo, please consider sending it through Jolah Politics. It's at Jolah Politics on Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal, or you could donate through the Coffee link. I have it pinned to the chat right now. It's that link you see down there, coffee.com/Jolah Politics. Really appreciate all the donations. The world's getting pretty scary and pretty crazy, so I'll be out here putting my name and my image to that, but I do need some support. I do appreciate it. I might be running for Congress. I don't know. I'm probably not going to, but I might. I probably am going to tomorrow. File to run for Congress. I don't know yet, but I might. And if you donate money, the more money you donate, the more likely I will run for Congress. Okay, guys. Let's see. There's no other callers. I don't know if I have anything else to go over right now. Thank you for $1.50, Barry Ross. I appreciate the donations. Okay, if you don't have the money, don't do it. Okay? Yeah. If you don't have money, don't donate. Thank you for $3, Glenn. Thank you, Glenn. Thank you, Glenn. Yeah, obviously you don't. I always say that too. If you don't have it, don't give it. All right, kids. Let's see where we're at with this. I'll take one more caller if someone wants to call. Maybe. I don't know. How are you guys doing tonight? I'm just gonna talk to the chat for a second. Decide what to do next. 2026. Are you an American? Or are you that weird type that live in Oregon and Cali? Eagles fan. Did you call in before? Sticking up for Mexico and China? No, Trump's the one helping China. Trump, maybe he got the C countries wrong, like Canada and China. Maybe he means to hurt China, but he's hurting Canada instead. Like, why would it make sense to have, like, think about this. With fentanyl, for example. Why would it make sense to have the lowest % taxes on Chinese imports? Most of the fentanyl comes from shipping from China. Okay, the synthetic drugs like that have historically came from China. Why are we tariffing Canada and Mexico more than China? Why are we tariffing Canada more than Mexico or China? It makes no sense. When they seize like one piece of fentanyl, like a gram of fentanyl per year in Canada. Why would that make any sense, Trump supporters? What's going on? Tell me why. Why are we giving preferential treatment to China? I really want to understand your logic. And also economically, the big person, the manufacturer, okay, the big, not person, the country that manufactures goods is China. Why does China have lower tariffs? All right, then Canada or Mexico. Why? Make it make sense. And also, tariffs are import taxes. You pay tariffs when you import goods. Businesses pay tariffs when they import goods. It's an import tax. That's what a tariff is. The first round of Trump tariffs actually lost manufacturing jobs, the very limited ones, the very limited tariffs. It lost manufacturing jobs because the input costs for the businesses, the material costs and input costs, which are the same thing, but material input costs rose. It got bigger because tariffs were taxing U.S. businesses. So those U.S. businesses actually laid off workers as a result of Trump's tariffs. So like tariffs are not American first at all, or America first, or whatever you guys say. Make it make sense. Can you make it make sense? I don't know if you can. Not really. Yeah. What's this guy? Who's this guy? Oh, God. Proud to bring him.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, this is YouTube guy. What's up?
Hey. I actually just went on the chat and I messaged, but I guess he called me back right away.
All right, awesome. By the way, just really quick, Coca in chat. Thank you so much for the donation, Coca. Thank you for talking about politics. Thank you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah, what's up?
Okay, so why do you think Trump is terrible? Like in contrast to who?
Well, he is really violating a lot of the Constitution Constitution as president. He lied about the 2020 election being stolen. He blamed the Capitol police officers for everything. He called them the enemy. He pardoned the assailants from that event. He compliments Kim Jong-un, who's a brutal dictator that kills Americans, and Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping. And he really insults the leaders of our fellow allies like Canada and the EU in general and Mexico. He insults our allies and he seems to suck up to dictators and he tells people that freedom of speech should be illegal and you should be banned if you write something negative about him. He's doing illegal deportations right now that are including innocent people being sent to Salvadorian prisons. So all those things and tariffs right now, the economy is going down a lot. Consumer confidence is at the lowest level since the pandemic. And yeah, there's a lot of bad things he does, in my opinion.
Consumer confidence is at the lowest since the pandemic, as in how are the consumer confidence lower?
Consumer outlook for how they view the economics for moving forward. Even Trump himself said that he thinks there's going to be a recession, or he wouldn't be. He's not going to predict. He refused to say if there's going to be a recession or not. He seemed to think there's going to be a recession, but they said that before he got elected. Elon Musk said they were going to intentionally crash the economy before Trump won. So.
Well, I guess I kind of viewed that there's probably going to be a crash coming around the corner anyways. We're kind of
well, I mean, usually crashes are global, but the U.S. right now, Hong Kong and Russia are shooting up. The EU is still growing. The only country globally that's a first world country that's going down economically is the U.S. So we are actually going against global trends. There's not these are global crashes that do. You're right, they do happen, but this crash is directly caused by the tariffs. It is just the tariffs causing this huge crash directly.
I mean, in the case of the tariffs, is it in a sense, it's you have the manufacturing that is actually going to get pushed back to the U.S. in a sense compared to.
See, the hard part about that is if Trump's gonna just change his mood every day, if he's gonna be moody and put tariffs on places and take them away the next day, that makes makes investors freeze because they want a long-term or mid-term outlook. They want some stability so they know where to invest. So when Trump is taking them away, putting them back on, and all that kind of stuff, it takes a while to move your production to different countries. So on the face of it, that takes a long time. You need a real economic policy to do that, not just emergency power. Because the tariffs he does are the president can only do those for national security purposes. So he claims he's doing it because of fentanyl, which makes zero logical sense with somewhere like Canada, and it would make zero sense why, like I said earlier, why would they tariff Canada more than China for fentanyl? So you need a real economic policy to do that. You need to probably subsidize manufacturing in America. And I would also bring up the first term when Trump did tariffs. We actually lost manufacturing jobs. And I know people that because of the tariffs on lumber from Canada that might lose their jobs because when companies have higher input costs for materials they need from other countries, then they lay off workers much of the time. So this is really complicated.
Gained jobs or not had their jobs lost because of plants not moving. Like Honda,
but if you're not gonna without a long-term economic strategy, do you know what I mean? If he's gonna take them on and off every day, depending on if he's having cramps or not, it makes it difficult for a business to plan for that. You know what I mean? That needs to be a long-term economic strategy, not just something he does because of his emotions.
But I guess in case of you saying well, there's some that lost some, and then there's always going to be some that gain some. So I guess it depends on who gains or loses more.
Well, the global economy doing trade with other countries, it has increased American wages. Our unemployment rate is still really low. The only argument for manufacturing in America is national security. If we need to produce certain things here to be more stable on our own, if there ever was a world war,
an actual pretty big deal considering COVID kind of showed that being a
for sure. But if that's what Trump was doing, by the way, working with Congress or something, I'd agree. But he's waking up every day, and you saw it too, right? He turned the tariffs off and on. I think he turned the tariffs off and on again 15 times already. So that's the worst way to manage an economy.
I can agree with that but I could see him using it as a negotiating tool where it is kind of unpredictable. I guess that could be a negative and a positive depending on
negotiating for what is what I usually ask. What is he negotiating for? With Canada?
Well, I do think when it comes to talks, I'm pretty sure there's probably a little bit more than just what's ever on the surface level.
Well, he negotiated the trade deal we have with Canada right now his first term, the USMCA. That's his trade deal. He said I know he said the other day, he's like, what kind of dumbass made this trade deal with Canada? This sucks. What kind of dumbass made this? And it was him. He's the one that made the trade deal, and he's complaining about it now. I'm like, what is he doing? I don't know. I don't understand.
To be fair, I'm not that much of a fan of Canada's labor laws. Like when you try to go to Canada to work over there, they make sure that no one in Canada can do it before you can go over there. I mean, in Mexico, we don't have, like in Mexico, there's no such deal. So I can kind of see how maybe there's a little bit more of a benefit in that case. But if you try to go to Canada, there has to be a proven fact that there's nobody else in Canada that can perform the task before you can do it.
As far as like, okay, but for like what? Yeah, but for the purpose of the tariffs that Trump is taking on and off on these different goods, I just don't understand it. And I said before to someone else that when Trump starts random trade wars with our allies, it makes the U.S. seem like a very untrustworthy partner for military alliances and also trade deals. So a lot of these countries are turning
But
towards
isn't that
China.
kind of a sentence of trade where we can't even perform labor over there, but they don't really get any reprimand for that?
But like, okay, I'm just gonna take your word for it that that's a policy. Trump has not mentioned anything to do with labor his entire presidency. So if you have an issue with that and you don't like Canada for that reason, for whatever the policy is, cool.
I just
But
don't agree
it's
with
still
it
the
in
general
that
stance
sense.
that we're going to tariff the EU and Canada and China and say we're going to invade Greenland and Panama. Meanwhile, we're helping China get more power globally. I just feel like we need to look at the entire global stage and realize we're helping China get huge wins because the U.S. is being untrustworthy as a partner.
Well, during President Biden's term, I mean, we pretty much gave China a lot of manufacturing and so on and so forth. There was nothing that we did in a positive sense to actually push any
Well, Joe
manufacturing
Biden
over
actually
here.
tariffed China more than Trump did, and Biden also passed the Chips and Science Act to increase manufacturing of chips in America, which is probably the most pro-America, anti-China policy we've seen an American president do. So, like, China, like Joe Biden's approach to China is actually tougher on China than Trump's is.
Is it
Trump's is more
actually
tough
quite a
on
bit higher
Canada.
than it is right now?
But Biden targeted the tariffs in specific areas and focused on building up our ability to produce chips in America. Trump's being harder on
But why
Canada
not
than
any
he is
other
China.
products? I mean, it does seem kind of weird for
Because
the
for
sense of
national
chips.
security purposes, then you'd have to focus on that. So like, for example, if you want America to build more like batteries and chips and solar panels, you would tariff solar panels from China, and then hopefully build that here and subsidize it at the same time. That's what the Chips and Science Act kind of does for a lot of different like chips and precious metals that we are trying to mine here eventually, or hopefully get here from different countries. So yeah, there's Biden's strategy of subsidizing businesses here and also tariffing certain goods from China is much more like American first than just like doing blanket tariffs with every country. And then like, why would you have only
I
10%
guess I would
tariffs
agree
for
more with
China
the
and then
blanket
25%
tariff.
tariffs for Canada?
I guess in the case of like a blanket tariff, it seems like you're supporting one industry more than you're supporting the others. Because in the
I mean,
case
no,
of
but,
like,
but that should be the purpose, though. That should be the purpose. It should be for national security for specific injuries or specific industries that you need to support. Yeah, that's what it should be. Across the board tariffs kills your
But-
economy.
I mean, but in the same case, we support them in any other case of manufacturing. Like we haven't done anything else to do it besides chips.
Okay, all I'm saying is, like, for small businesses in America, for example, or for consumers, tariffs are an import tax on the American people. You're telling the American people you cannot buy from Canada or China or Mexico without paying an extra tax to the American government. We are taxing you if you import any goods at all from these companies, or countries, I mean, from the countries or companies. So if you're going to tax American citizens, you don't want to tax American citizens on every product they buy from a certain country. So you'd hyper target those. And it just, like, economically, let's just say it, like over the last like 100 years, in an analysis of like 150 countries, tariffs have never resulted in good economic outcomes. And tariffs actually made the Great Depression far worse because we did tariffs then.
So no other countries have. Does Canada have zero tariffs against us?
So
Besides
the tariffs
now, of course, obviously.
Well, Canada
but,
had
I mean,
tariffs, for example. I want to look up the exact policy. So Trump brings up there's a tariff on it's 290% on dairy products or like other farming. But Trump said this was a tax on everything that's like an import to Canada from America. But the tariff for Canada, let me see, tariff U.S. dairy. I want to get the exact numbers really quick. Like this is an example of a targeted tariff. So Canada has a supply management system. So there's no tariffs at all under a certain limit. So if it's within a quota, then you can sell anything in Canada. But if they ever have an economic issue or if they get flooded with products, then you cannot, like if you sell a certain amount of milk or whatever, or dairy from America and China and Canada, then you'd have tariffs to cut it off at a certain point, essentially. But there's nothing across the board, and there's nothing similar to what like Trump wants to do to these countries now.
But I guess in the case of, yes, there's a point of it being a disadvantage in the case of global trade, but in the case of national manufacturing, if we are being outwaged and being outproduced in a sense, because we don't have, like, if you own a factory and you can't compete with the neighboring country's wage that they're able to do, wouldn't a tariff kind of benefit you in a sense if you're in the United States?
Well, if the other country, you mean if the other country pays cheaper wages?
Yeah, because they would have lower production costs overall compared to in the U.S.
Well, the fact is that American businesses benefit from free trade and getting like different materials that might be sourced from these countries. Well, they definitely do. That's why we lost jobs from the first tariffs, because the input cost for these businesses was increased a lot, because we cannot make not only can we not make every resource in America, but the resources we can't make them to the amount that we need to supply all of America. So lumber's a good example. If we tariff Canada, we don't have the supply of trees. We don't have a supply of trees in America to replace the trees from Canada that we're going to tariff. So
we actually replace our own trees, though, at this moment. We're not even at a loss. We're at a growth.
But when we do tariffs on Canadian lumber, we end up getting lumber from like Russia. So like we'd have to kill all of our national forests.
Well, I'm saying
and
as
still
far
run out
as
of trees.
U.S. rate, we have our national forests grow more than they get cut down, and we supply. But at the same time, we have a growth rate where we don't have a loss.
Yeah, because we import a lot of lumber. That's why we don't have a loss. We would have a loss if we said we want to only use American trees. We'd kill all of our national parks completely, and we'd be at a loss. We would eventually drain them.
How long would it take?
I don't know.
Well, how much of a loss? But I mean, like, at the same point, if there's a number, it's not like we're at a huge loss.
That's the point of free trade. Like, for example, a lot of oil and trees are in Canada, so they're good at that. That's comparative advantage. They can sell that to us, and we can sell other things to them, and it benefits both of us because we get cheap goods from them, and they get something from us. So, like, these trade deals, like the USMCA, that's why we negotiate trade deals. If Trump thinks his trade deal sucks, the USMCA, he should renegotiate it. But Trump has not said anything about renegotiating any trade deals at all. And if you care about economics, he would be doing that.
Across both.
The USMCA directly talks about tariffs.
Isn't technically a negative.
The USMCA, yes, it is, because it hurts both economies. It just hurts both economies. Because you're charging taxes. You're taxing your citizens 25% more on all goods.
You charge income tax. You charge all these other taxes. But this tax is a negative.
Charging 25% more taxes on mostly working class people and small businesses is a really bad thing. Corporations benefit because they can.
You do that anyways.
The price
There's not even a difference.
We're adding an extra flat tax on everyone. We're adding an extra 25% tax on the people. That's not a good thing for either economy.
But no, actually, I would say that's actually it's not a full 25% tax. I would say a sales tax is a full 8%.
We don't have to talk theoretically. Tariffs do not work for economies. There's no economist anywhere. Thomas Sowell, Friedman, the most free market economists in history, the most free market, the most liberal, the most leftist, they all agree tariffs suck for the economy. There's no one that agrees that tariffs are good for the economy. I don't even know what else to say. It's just the markets function terribly if there's tariffs involved. And we're taxing the poorest people in America more in order to do this, so we can give more tax cuts to rich people. It just, none of this makes any sense.
Does China have less tariffs than us? I'm actually going to look it up right now.
I don't care. I really don't care about that.
Well, I mean, in the case if you're saying that if they're having a growing economy and we're not, then they have tariffs and we don't. Or if they have more tariffs than us in a certain case, then is it a negative? Why do they have tariffs?
Then we wouldn't do across-the-board tariffs then. We would do targeted tariffs that are reciprocal if that was the case.
I can see targeted in a sense, but I also feel like that's a lobbied case. Because at the same point, it's like,
it's still bad for the economy, regardless.
Well, I think us not producing things here is bad for the economy. Because I think we have lost quite a bit of manufacturing jobs as a whole.
Manufacturing jobs.
Manufacturing
we have better
skills.
jobs now. We have better jobs now than manufacturing jobs in America. We get paid more now. The working class, adjusted for inflation, made more money under Biden than any time in American history. Americans are just really apt at complaining now. That's true.
After inflation.
Yeah, after inflation, even adjusted for inflation.
So the median wage is what, $38,000?
Because of the tight labor market.
America?
That's because the unemployment rate is really low, so the wages got pushed upward wage pressure because of the labor market being so tight. Yeah.
So the median wage is $38,000. What was it
the
under
Department
Trump?
of Labor or the Labor Bureau of Labor Statistics?
What was the U.S. median wage under Trump?
I don't know. I just remember reading the data about during 2022-2023.
2018.
And you could say it's just because of the tight
wage.
labor markets, but also Trump didn't do anything to the economy really. He had the
Well,
tax cuts.
I'm
And
gonna
that's
look up.
it.
I'd rather look up the number and see what it is, because the median household wage in 2018 for year-round workers was
I don't know why we think like base level
40,247.
manufacturing are luxurious jobs. Like Americans got richer after we got rid of those. I think I agree. I agree. We should bring.
Well, I
some
mean, I guess
jobs
you think of
back
it
when
as
comes
a
to
low-level
national
job, but in the
security
same case,
reasons.
there's plenty of
No,
there's plenty of
objectively,
high-level
they don't
jobs.
pay well. They just don't pay well, and they have bad conditions.
There's plenty
Like,
of people that are making 200, 300 in manufacturing.
Do you
100.
think? Do you think the manufacturing jobs that we're gonna bring back are gonna pay 6 digits?
Yeah. I 100% agree because I work in
What
manufacturing.
manufacturing jobs for the? Do you think factory workers make 6 digits? We're talking about factory workers, right?
We're talking about everything that goes to support a factory. You have a lot of technicians that have to run the equipment because, I mean, in today's age, it's more of an automated task than it is a hand labor task. I mean, maybe in 1940 when you had a lot more manual labor machines, but in today's age, a lot of the equipment is automated. I mean, in China, they have pick and place machines for all the chip. You think they're hand assembling boards? They're not hand assembling boards.
Okay. I guess we'll make T-shirts in America. Do you think we'll ever make T-shirts in America?
We do make T-shirts in America. There's plenty of brands. I actually bought some.
Okay.
They're like $7 a piece if you buy them wholesale.
Okay. Okay. So the economy will get worse. Okay. So you have to balance. I don't know. Tariffs are bad. Okay. Tariffs are bad for the economy, but you're saying that's okay. Even if it's
I'm
bad
saying
for the
that it
economy,
could actually level the playing field when it comes to, like, let's say T-shirts,
There's no-
where they might be able to benefit from the cheaper labor and be able to sell each unit at like $3-4, but a tariff might push them at 5-6, where that barrier to entry, where you might maybe I will buy an American shirt for $7, where there's only $1 per unit difference, and the supply chain will support it
If
better.
you're, I mean, okay, if you're okay with like taking hits in the economy, it's just none of it makes sense. I'm sorry. It's just like we don't have the resources in America to make all this stuff. We could look up different like areas.
Well, we don't have the resources because we gave it all away.
No, we just don't.
I mean, of course. Well, no, why did we stop having resources? It's because we gave it all away.
No, like we don't lack.
We give it all away all the time. We give it away to Mexico. There's factories that were going to leave to Mexico. All the tooling, all the injection molding, all the dyes, all the steel. What do you call it? The presses. We get rid of a lot of manufacturing in America. I mean, I was kind of impressed by the fact that Honda wanted to keep their jobs here.
For 2028.
They were planning on moving. I'm happy that BMW still runs out of Spartanburg.
Okay.
So BMW is a higher
Biden had
value
more
price.
manufacturing job increase than Trump did.
Well, is that counting because COVID laid everyone off and then put them back in, or is that?
Yes. Yeah, we had
That count?
all-time
is
high
it
energy independence.
pre-pandemic?
We had all-time high energy independence in 2023 as well under Biden.
How much higher though?
It was still it's higher than we are now. It's higher than we were in 70 years. It's higher than we were under Trump.
I mean, of course you're going to have. So if you use more energy in a sense, so you're saying that we had more energy independence and then now we want global trade. So we don't want to. We want to be more energy independent, but we don't want to use energy from Canada. In your sense, it's better to be more energy independent. But you want to also make sure that we have less. So, would you prefer that we be less energy independent or more?
I don't care. It doesn't really change the global oil markets because they sell it globally regardless. They'd have to nationalize the oil companies to keep it in America. It's a stupid argument regardless. But do you support the Keystone XL pipeline? Because Trump talks about that a lot.
I haven't heard about what he said so far about it.
Okay.
But is he in support or not in support?
He wants it. He said it's a tragedy Biden ended it.
I mean, I would be supporting a pipeline for sure.
Well, it's all from Canada, so it'd be tariffed.
Yeah, it'd be tariffs, but at least it would be a better supply chain. I mean, we run on supply chain. I mean, if the cost is up, but at least the supply is not going to dwindle.
What if you had to
I mean,
like
I live
increase?
in California where we have a terrible supply chain for fuel. That's why we have such drastic spikes.
If you
in
had
fuel.
to increase poverty in America and increase prices and make America fall from being a global leader in order to bring manufacturing back to America, would that be a worthy trade for you?
Wait, you don't have to have a stat like a one or the other. You
Yeah,
can
you
definitely
do.
play.
You cannot be
No, you
strong
don't.
economically
No,
if you're
you don't.
isolationist. No, you cannot. No, just in a matter
No,
of
you
fact.
can definitely bring manufacturing back to America without having to completely cut yourself off from the world.
Yeah, no, when it comes to America being the global superpower in any sense, no, you cannot. You need to be involved in free trade to help prevent wars, to help make sure you have enough resources coming in and out, to make sure you have trade deals, to make sure you're a part of global organizations that keep the world more structured when it comes to even like diseases spreading, and just in general, cybersecurity. Every purpose of keeping the world safer in America in a good position, it's important to have good relationships with your trade partners.
But I mean, wouldn't that be more up to the companies?
What?
I mean, I guess you could say is tariffs are bad in a sense, but I mean, they have the equal right to tariff us in the same manner. So is it a one-way street where
you're cutting off America from trading with these countries, with our allies? So you're making.
How are you cutting them off? You're not banning the trade. You're just putting a tariff on it.
Okay, listen up. Okay, if you tariff a country, do you think they're going to keep on selling in America and keep on working with America? Or do you think they're more likely to look for other partners if you're going to be tariffing countries and if you're going to be untrustworthy when it comes to our military alliances? Do you think they'll look for other options by chance?
Well, it's not the government that decides if
Do you
they
think
sell
they'll
to
look
a
for
country
other
or not.
options? Do you think companies in Canada, if you tariff
So
their
that-
goods, do you think they'll look for America or look for routes to do other trade with other countries that are more reliable and more stable?
More reliable. I guess it depends on what you say is more reliable.
If America
Because
is
if
going to tariff its allies and threaten its allies with military invasion like Greenland and Canada, do you think it makes it more likely for our allies to look to other countries for trade deals such as China?
Would they want to deal with China? I
If
mean,
America is
there's
going
so
to
many
be
questions in
emotional
this case
babies,
because
yes.
it's not
If
really.
if America's going to commit economic suicide and try to bring its allies down with it, then yes, they might look to other trade routes. That's what they're going to do because
So they
America's
would
not
look to a
trustworthy.
communist China in a sense. They
Yeah,
would be like,
yes,
okay,
yes, and
we'll
yeah,
get
and I
with
think
you
it's
on the
bad. I
military.
think that's bad because China's getting influence because America's economic policy is so dog shit. Because so China's gaining influence. Yeah, China loves this shit. Russia loves the Trump presidency. North Korea loves it. They all love it. Yeah, they're doing great right now.
I mean, China, in a sense, is. I guess that's where it is a little bit tricky in a sense, where you have, but at the same point, it's not like China is going to be. They're taking away from certain aspects of like U.S. growth, because yes, you can go ahead and you can do trade with them, but at the same time, you always risk the fact of not being able to have your own manufacturing or whatever the case is. So now, let's say we did go to war with China. Let's say we had free trade and we pushed all our manufacturing over there, or at least we gave a majority. I wouldn't say all, but we went on the downward trend of giving up our jobs for manufacturing jobs, and we gave it to China. We went to war with them. What happens?
I
Now we
already
have no
said
supplies.
you could focus on subsidizing manufacturing in America for emergency areas.
Well,
that you
subsidizing is
need.
kind of BS in a sense, because what does that come from? That comes from the taxpayer.
Where do tariffs pull from if you tariff American importers?
They pull from the transaction of the item coming into the U.S.
So you slow economic transactions, you hurt our trade deals with other countries, you hurt
Well,
our
I mean, you
economic
can still
activity.
purchase from items that are in the US
Okay, shut up for
without a
one
tariff.
second, dude. 'Cause you don't understand any of this at all. You literally have no grasp
No,
on how this
I-
works at all.
well,
No,
you-
when you talk about subsidies right now, American goods, okay, if you have tariffs, you tax the American people for importing goods that they currently get from other countries or materials that they make goods with from other countries. You're taxing the American people through tariffs. It's going to cost the American people much more through tariffs to do this plan without any clear-cut initiative to focus on these key industries that are for national security. With subsidies, you can hyper-focus in areas that you need to make America more safe and more secure, which is what Biden did. But this blanket, just like bullshit tariff thing, it hurts America economically. It hurts the American consumers. Goods cost more, and it costs more because they have to move base level manufacturing back to some type of North American country, and they don't even know. Companies don't even know if the tariffs are going to be there tomorrow because Trump changes them every single day. So what happens then is you cannot hyper focus. Honda moving their factory back, and that's like a 2028 announcement, which is like not even confirmed. But Honda moving a factory back to America is not going to be national security focused. Okay, if you want to talk about like national security concerns, you need to subsidize different industries directly. Just not do dumbass tariffs. The tariffs don't work. That cost the American people far more than subsidizing things do. And across the board, tariffs are just stupid. Across the board is stupid. Why is Trump? Do you think it's going to help American manufacturing that Trump is going to tariff European champagne?
Okay, so what other products besides European champagne? Because that's a
Why
great
is Trump
one.
tariffing European champagne? Why is he
People
doing that?
pay how much for champagne?
Why is he tariffing European
that is an
champagne?
example.
I have
I
a
mean,
question.
what
Why is he
other-
tariffing? Okay, if the tariff's goal is national security, okay, and manufacturing, why is he tariffing European champagne?
Why wouldn't he? I mean,
Why
at
is
that
he
point, it's
tariffing
also
European champagne? Why is he tariffing European champagne? What benefit does that give the U.S.?
taxes.
So for base level manufacturing security concerns, we need to make more champagne in
Well,
America.
at that point, it's an income of taxes. I mean, we're in a national debt of like 126% to.
So you're like,
national debt to
okay, if
GDP.
it's not for, so you're like, okay, yeah, let's raise taxes on people.
Well, I mean, the Democrat
for
Party
the
is the one that
EU.
loves to raise the taxes because I mean,
Okay,
Trump's,
well, you're literally saying
tax
taxes are okay if your Trump sexual daddy will do it. Okay, you're literally you're advocating for tax
no, because
increases.
I'm saying actually, if anything,
Why?
Trump actually helped reduce people's taxes mostly by the tax plan because he doubled the standard deduction and he actually
How
increased
does
the
it
taxes
help
on the rich in a
American?
sense
Okay,
because he
how
got rid
does
of
it?
salt.
No, he did not increase taxes on the
Well,
rich.
not
There's
get
got a
rid, but
huge
he-
tax cut.
Okay, how?
why?
How did he not?
Why?
What mathematical
why are we?
equation
Hey,
doesn't
why are we
equate to less
tariffing?
taxes?
What benefit to American national security does tariffing champagne from Europe have?
Let's go back to the taxes because I mean, you said that he doesn't.
No,
he did
okay,
lower
yeah,
the
you're
tax.
saying let's go back to the point where you can actually defend because you know it's bullshit. So why is Trump tariffing these industries that have nothing to do with American manufacturing? Why is he tariffing the lumber
Well,
from
I mean,
Canada?
in the case of European champagne, what's the big deal of taxing that? If anything, that's a luxury tax, isn't it? Because as far as I know, people making like 30K are probably not buying luxurious.
Okay, why are
European
we
champagne.
increasing taxes on the American people? Why are we increasing their taxes?
In the case of, well, I guess it's a trade-off tax,
You're
right?
a
Because
slimy
it's not
one.
necessary.
You're slimy.
Well,
You're real
no,
slimy.
I'm not
No,
slimy.
you're slimy. Yeah,
no,
you
you're
are.
just calling me
you literally,
slimy.
no,
I'm
you literally,
saying no,
dude,
because
dude.
you're
I can bring
saying
up any
that it
tariff
has
for
to be
different
a
countries.
tax. It's a
You
tax
are
on the
you are
American people.
contradicting yourself more than
No, I'm
you are
not.
contradicting yourself. Yeah, you are contradicting yourself with every freaking sentence. Like unironically, if I bring up tariffs from China or Canada or the European Union, you have different arguments for all of them that contradict each other. Like, do you want to raise taxes on the
Okay,
on the
where's the
American
contradiction?
people?
Where's
If
the
we're doing it,
contradiction?
why are we doing tariffs? What's the main point for doing tariffs? What's the main point?
I would actually say that the tariffs are probably more for bringing manufacturing back. That's one item, not all of it. It's not a blanket statement. I would say it's for that and also for tax revenue. They can say that it's for the national defense. I don't really agree with that because there's other methods that can be done.
Okay, so tax revenue. Okay, so we're taxing the American people more for tax revenue. Okay.
So in the case of, how would it be more in a sense?
So
It would
a
only be more
research
under
from,
certain situations, wouldn't it?
So the National Bureau of Economic Research and our Federal Reserve Board study and Tax Foundation analysis saw that Trump's original tariffs actually decreased manufacturing employment by 2% in total. There were some gains. There were 0.3% in gains.
Well, within the last month? 2
There were
months?
Okay, so from the tariffs, no, his first administration, he was president before, if you were awake for that.
Okay.
So during
Yeah.
his first term,
Oh,
there
wait,
were
are we counting at the end of COVID or
Can
are we
you let
counting
me
at the
finish a
beginning?
damn sentence? You.
Okay.
Okay.
Go
There
ahead,
were modest
go ahead.
gains. The gains in manufacturing from shielding businesses in America from tariffs were 0.3% in growth. But like I said before, the economic input costs to these businesses included more reductions in employment because more companies laid workers off because business got more expensive to do because of tariffs and retaliatory tariffs. And also, if we don't have good trade deals, our farmers in America export a lot of soybeans. Our businesses export a lot of items in general. A lot of small businesses and small farmers are going to die because of Trump's trade wars. So according to when it comes to manufacturing jobs, this is not going to help that without actually subsidizing because that's how this shit works. When it comes to our trade deals, okay, we're going to have less trust globally. We're going to have less money for Americans. Goods are going to become more expensive. Americans are going to become taxed more. We're going to cut taxes for ultra wealthy in America and run higher deficits while taxing working class people even more with tariffs. And also for national security purposes, we're not hyper focusing any specific area for national security. We're just causing trade wars with our own allies. And that, by the way, national security wise, the last thing you would do, and I know all the Trumpers in chat are super happy because this is complicated and complicated topics. You guys look great here because you could just be dumbasses because you don't understand most of it. But for North America, for American safety, becoming enemies with Canada, which is a huge country for resources for America. We have a great relationship with them. We have a perfect relationship with Canada. There's no reason to be attacking them. If we want America to be safer globally and be more self-sustainable, it should be all of North America being more sustainable. That's the point of USMCA. That's the point of NAFTA. There is no reality in which we can survive as America just being alone, okay? If we had to become isolationist in terms of Canada and Mexico, if there was a war or something, that's what we should be focusing on. There is zero world in which any goal for American society will be benefited by tariffing Canada and causing divisions with our allyship with Canada and Mexico. There's zero benefit from that at all.
There's zero benefit. So if there's manufacturing jobs that are getting sent to Mexico because it's too expensive to perform in the U.S. because they have an advantage over us, in the case of Mexico, with labor mainly as a production cost, because it's not really the manufacturing equipment that's the same cost regardless. It's going to get shipped in from whatever country that they purchase it from.
We have trade deals with Mexico. We can talk about these things in trade deals, not random emotional tariffs. Do trade deals.
So what trade deal has been done that has prevented the jobs from leaving to Mexico?
You know, you're a big boy. You know the trade deals, right?
Well, I know multiple.
Say the trade deals for
companies
America.
that have shut down. I've actually helped the companies
Say the
shut
trade
down
deal for America.
to move them to
for
Mexico.
America.
Say the trade deals. I perform the training over in Mexico.
Okay, what are the trade deals
I
then?
actually go over there and train.
What are the trade deals? What are they called?
There's not really any. I haven't seen any in the last decade. That have prevented any jobs from leaving to Mexico.
Just name the trade deals.
I mean, even under Trump's term, he didn't even have that much of an aggressive stance in the first go. He didn't. And as you said, he didn't have any aggressive stance. If anything, Biden was more aggressive.
Were you just born yesterday? You said you help companies close down and work with international trade, but you don't know what the trade deals are? You don't know anything about the trade deals? Are you serious?
What trade deals then?
Name the trade deals.
Listen.
Name the trade deals for North America.
Because you're the one acting like I don't know.
You're the professional. You're the professional. You're acting like you don't know because you're not telling me. What are the trade deals called?
No,
Name
you're
one
not
of the trade
telling me.
deals
You're like, wow, you don't know? So what is it?
Tell me what the trade deals are. No, you have to prove it because you don't know. Google real quick.
Well, I know we had free trade, and we kept on going back and forth, and there's companies that are right across the border.
Did anything with trade happen under Trump? Did anything change under our trade with Canada and Mexico under Trump the first time around?
It was anything more free trade, wasn't it?
Oh, this is so sweet. Okay, well, your entire facade is falling apart right now. I hope you know that.
I don't know the details that much. I just know when I've gone over there.
Details. I know you know.
Well, I don't know the details that much because I go over there and I just do the work.
Okay,
and I have to go and check in and then go.
No,
show
how
my
it works is
work
so
permit.
when if you work in business, you would know that doing emotional tariffs every day, and tariffs can only be done unilaterally by the president without Congress for national security concerns. So Trump lied about fentanyl with Canada, for example. He's using
I can
that
say
for
that he probably
justification.
did that.
So for economic policy, regardless, the way Trump is doing this is terrible. Off and on, every other day, having a call with the leader where they suck him off for a second. And he's like, "Fine, I'll take the tariffs off." That is not a way to do this at all. So that's bad economic policy. Even if he's that's the opinion of anyone in the world. Taking tariffs on and off is
anyone in the world. Obviously not him.
Do you think it's good economic? Obviously not him. I hate you, dude. You're the worst. You're the worst person to ever call in here. I wouldn't even.
What got you to giggle, right?
No, because I can't tell I can't tell when you're being serious or not. So, anyways, do you know the trade deals? Are you kidding about that too?
I mean, I would have to look them up. I don't recall them off the top of my head.
So the USMCA, Trump said it's his crowning achievement. He talked about the USMCA nonstop because NAFTA. He said he ran on NAFTA being terrible for American workers. He said NAFTA, what you're saying right now, NAFTA made us lose manufacturing jobs. So Trump renegotiated NAFTA, added USMCA, which is just NAFTA Part 2 or V2, whatever. And now we're under USMCA, which is Trump's deal that he now talks shit about. If you want to make long-term adjustments to the economy, if you're not just trying to scare countries or start conflicts, you would negotiate tariffs, which he did the first time around. Joe Biden also negotiated tariffs with Canada. to change some of their thresholds for certain tariffs, you would make that change. You would make those changes in the actual trade deals. Okay, you would go through the USMCA, say, hey, we want USMCA Part 3, NAFTA Part 3, and fix it there. What Trump's doing right now is not even real policy. So the fact anyone's even defending it makes you want to go outside and jump into a puddle and drown.
I can see the sad part about it, like where it is not probably standard procedure, nor is it's probably a very gray area because he's playing that gray area. I think he is using it as a leverage tool. I think he is. I mean, you could
Leverage
disagree,
for what?
but
Leverage for what? What is it? What concession is he trying to get?
probably when it came to Mexico, some additional security on the border or assistance with the border. I don't know exactly all the details. I'm sure there is leverage going on.
What with Canada? I don't know, just hypothetical. Well, Mexico they already had the troop number at the border that Trump said he got, so they didn't change anything, and he said that they did. Canada had a
I don't know that
thing
for a
they passed
fact.
in December. I do know for a fact. Canada passed
You do,
1.5
so you were there and you monitored it and saw it firsthand.
I hate you people.
Well, I mean,
I hate
just
you
the
people.
case.
Is the
I mean,
only
I
way
hear
to
a lot
know
of
things
things.
happened to actually be there? Do you have to be there to know that Donald Trump is breathing right now? Do you know he's alive? How do you know he's alive? How do you know he's not an
Technically, I don't.
animatronic robot?
He could be
Have you
dead.
checked on? Okay, I'm going to bed. I hate that. I hate that. I hate the slimy conversations. It's just like, I think I'm done talking to. I don't want to talk to California Republicans anymore. But those are the only people that are awake right now because it's like 9 o'clock on the east, or it's like one. It's gonna be 1 a.m. on the East Coast. So. Someone said thank you. Well, yeah. Okay. Thank you for. I just got a donation. Someone sent me a super chat. Thank you, Glenn. From YouTube. I got a super thanks on YouTube. Thank you so much, Glenn. And also MP. Thank you so much on Cash App for the $5. Thank you so much for supporting the stream. Thank you so much for supporting the pain that I go through. I was gonna say the work I do, but I'm just gonna call it pain from now on. Thank you guys. Please drop a like on the stream, hit subscribe. If you are someone who has extra money laying around, okay, please consider supporting the stream. For when the Trump campaign, for when Trump you know what? Don't pay attention to my YouTube shorts. I'm not doing this for 10 hours. I forgot to change that. It's okay though. I could lie to people. Thank you so much for the donations. Jolah Politics on PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo. If you want to guarantee a call in, you could also donate $10 with your first name and your phone number. But if you got a couple dollars laying around, really appreciate it. You could donate through Coffee. If you donate through Coffee, you could see the link down there on both streams. It says your message out loud as well. It'll have an AI voice read it during the stream. But thank you so much for the donation so far. Really appreciate it. I'll adjust my weekly goal to $15. I only do the goal based off of Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo donations. So anything super chat is just like extra. So thank you guys everywhere. BIOS. Wow. Drop a like on the stream, hit subscribe. Thank you so much for $2. Thank you for $2. Actually, I'll add that. I'll add these. Here you go. To the weekly goal. Thank you for $2. Candy.
New donation from the Deep State.
Thank you, Deep State.
$10. Thank you, Jolah. We also hate California Republicans.
Thank you, Deep State. There it is. There's the Deep State. There's George Soros. Thank God. I was gonna give up. Thank you, Deep State. Thanks for tonight. Yeah, thank you for tonight. Thank you for coming to hang out.
On the debate with you, brother. Sound like a complete communist.
I sound like a communist. As I explain the concept of I sound like a communist as I explain the concept of free trade to Trump supporters. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. What? Oh God, dude. I don't know. If I get another donation, I have to take another call. I'm gonna see if anyone donated on the phone. Should I take another one? I don't know if it's worth it. I might just make you guys call in tomorrow. The people that want to call in now. Make you guys wait. Make you guys crave it. Make you guys crave it. That's what I gotta do. How about you guys show up tomorrow, 9 p.m. Actually, 10 p.m. probably, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. Thank you for dropping a like and hitting subscribe. Eagles fan. Did we talk before, Eagles fan? Did we talk before?
What's up,
Here's what I'm
Inside?
gonna do. I'm gonna go and put my here. Let me do this for a second. Join the Discord, guys. Join the Discord, please. One more. I don't know if you donate. I might take one more. No one donated. I can't do it. I might have to do it tomorrow. I'm getting kind of tired. That call kind of drained me tonight. Okay, here's the Discord link. Join Discord. But yeah, if you look at, like, let's say you're looking at geopolitical strategy and you're looking at, like, how to keep America more safe in a possible war with China, okay? The last thing you would do is sever connections with Canada. Canada, their resources, and also for national security purposes, but their land and resources is extremely beneficial to America. And like for our national security, for our self-sufficiency, thinking about the world in terms of borders or land, it doesn't really work. Land might make sense. So for example, with like Canada and their resources, being friends with them is a really good thing. Borders don't make sense though. Like Canada and Mexico need to be partners regardless. We need to help Mexico and Canada be more stable countries for our national security. It's all of North America that would need more national security. It's not just America. I don't know though. If Trump gets his wish and puts all the liberals in prison, that'd be bad. Thank you for $3, Barry. Thank you for $2, Connor. Maple syrup. Okay. Thank you for the support. Bad faith arguments always drain anyone. And it's like they know they're lying too. That's the big thing with a lot of Republican commentators. A lot of Republican commentators know they're lying. So it's deep state. Suri. Thank you, Suri. Thank you. Again, I just saw your name. But yeah, they know they're lying for a lot of it. They know they're being dishonest. Or like the person that called before this guy, he truly believed a lot of it, but he's like, yeah, I don't do any research at all. I do not know what I'm talking about. And it's like, okay. That's good. That's good. Good to know. We love that you don't know what you're talking about, but you're still calling into the stream to be annoying. I love that shit. I love it. You got KFC as well. Deleting my secret identity 3. Okay, guys, thank you for dropping likes, hitting subscribe. Thank you for all the donations. I might have to call it a night. I'm kind of sleepy. How long was I going so far? Did I stream for a long time tonight? Thank you for $5, Bucky. How do you feel about the Dem perspective that the government should stay open so Trump keeps faltering? You know, if Trump was not illegally deporting innocent people to El Salvador, it might make sense. If Trump was not openly defying court orders and the Constitution, it might make sense. But in the current landscape, it seems that Donald Trump is currently not following the law, and they're going to impound more funds and use it for really bad things, and the Aliens Enemies Act or whatever. So, you know, in my opinion, every Democrat that voted for the budget historically, okay, in history, when we go back and remember them, we need to remember them for what they are, okay. Chuck Schumer's name is on every single bad thing that happens from now on. He signed his name onto it. He gave Trump the money without any Democratic input at all. This was the point to do anything at all. You could have done anything, any point of leverage, anything for anything, and it would have served as a big benefit. You know. Here's our demands: protect veterans, protect Social Security and Medicaid. And also, protect those two groups. Yeah, sure. And you could have campaigned off that. Also, don't cut taxes for the wealthy. Make those your 3 public concerns and go crazy with it publicly. Don't cut taxes for the wealthy. Don't hurt veterans. Very simple points you could have made. You could have stood on for Democrats, but they did not. Schumer got me. The way they talk too is so annoying. Final thing for tonight. Let me see. I've been doing this for 3 hours now, I think. 3 hours is long. Yeah, 3 hours is a long enough stream. Tax the heck out of billionaires. I agree. History will tell the tale. I hope we're around to tell it, because I think about that too. I don't like the calls for violence from Elon Musk. Elon Musk said, you're not... Oh, God. He's calling for violence, basically. Okay. Discord link is pinned in the chat. Thank you guys for watching. I know these streams are painful. Maybe I'll think about some new innovative ways to do content. I want to do some YouTube videos tomorrow. I might just record some segments on my second channel. Go follow my TikTok if you can. My TikTok is Jolah Politics, and I need 10,000 subscribers to get monetized. There are 10,000 followers on TikTok. I need like 200 more on TikTok, I think. But yeah, please do that. Yeah, I'm at 9,756. So I need 250 more followers on TikTok to get monetized on there. So yeah, Jolah Politics on there. Okay. See you guys in Discord. I'll hop in Discord and chat if anyone wants to do some casual conversationing. I'll hop in Discord for a little bit, for a few minutes. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you guys tomorrow at 10 p.m. Maybe 9:30 p.m. Probably 10 p.m. Eastern time. Okay. 10 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Thank you guys. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Bucky, Sri, Krusty, Teresa, Cam. Thank you, Mods. Thank you, Kyle, if you're here. I don't know if Kyle's here. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Soulful Music. What's the Discord about? There's channels in the Discord for anything. We don't have that many people in there, so I mean, we have like a pet pictures that's decently active. People post pet pictures a lot, by the way. If you have pets, a lot of pet pictures in Discord, a decent amount. There's some memes. Birds aren't real. There's some different things in there. It's not a super big Discord or super active, but it's worth joining. And we do like some nights there's like I mean, the most I've seen is like 30 people in VC. So as far as voice chat goes, it's a pretty active Discord for how small it is. But it's not just politics. It's mostly politics, of course. But we could talk about other stuff. I do welcome other conversations. I do appreciate that. All right, guys. Have a good night. See you in Discord, and see you tomorrow. Thank you, guys. Thank you for all the donations on Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo as well. Jolah Politics. And channel memberships are $3. You could be green in chat. Thank you for channel memberships and everything. Thank you. I need to sleep now, dude. That last guy is a evil person. If you want to call into the show, like I said, 10 p.m. tomorrow, you can call in or send me a... This is a fake phone number, okay? The phone number you see is a fake phone number. You could text it though. You can still text it. It's a Google Voice number, fake. But you can text it, and I might look at it and let you call in, or let you schedule a call in time. But I start at 10 p.m. tomorrow. So if you want to call in at 10 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, we can schedule that. Or you can call in at the start of the stream. Whatever works. Okay, guys, have a good night. Thank you. Woohoo! This can't be real. Courses are not essential. GG's. Dang, you guys donated too much money. What the hell? Thank you, guys. Did I miss any? $3 Bucky. Oh, $5. What do you think of Schumer's portrayal? I already saw that. Okay. Thank you, guys. Wow. Bars? Yeah, dude. Oh, thank you, Candy, for $2. I don't know if I saw that. $2, not a murderer. Call before the stream ends. I'm tired. Thank you, Glenn, for $3 as well. I saw that too. I'm tired, dude. I'm sorry. We've been talking political. Right into the middle school and civics class so people understand the Constitution. Yeah. That's what I've been doing. I've been doing all the constitutional work. I'm a scholar, not a legal clerk. Okay, good night. Thank you, guys. Woohoo! See you guys.